the United stand. Hope you're all doing very well. It's Manchester United versus Bruges. We are in Bruges. You'll have seen the pictures from Flex. He's been in the bloody hotel. He's had a photo with Bruno, who is now no longer known to me. Bruno, get out. Jesse Lingard, you are now my new favourite. But team news is about to come in. Should be coming in any second, in fact. And we expect Bruno to start. We expect Pereira to start. It'll be interesting to see how strong we go. We mustn't underestimate Club Brugge at all, but it is a big game for Manchester United in what is a very, very big time, a very, very big week. Beating Chelsea on Monday was a big positive. I think we've got to keep all the doors open. I think Ollie's right. We can't prioritise at the moment. We need to take some form into this. There seems to be, I'm very jealous. Alex Mendoza, I'm very jealous that Flex was basically the filling in a Fred and Bruno sandwich. It's on my Twitter feed. It makes me want to well up inside. He was the filling in a Fred and Bruno sandwich like this, arms around him. You know, it's just not right. It's not right. But in all seriousness, it's good making moves. But yeah, look, we've got to win. We've got to win today. Well, no, we haven't got to win. Let's not get melodramatic. This is very important to us, and I think we mustn't underestimate Club Brugge. But I think it's a good game for United because I think it's a game where we can, you know, it's not a game where, oh yeah, we definitely should win. It's going to be a test. And I think every game we've got over the coming weeks are a test. There's no give me. There's no Norwich at home. There's no Astana away. Club Brugge, yeah, United will be favourites, but if anybody who's done their research, they're not a bad side. Watford at the weekend are fighting for their lives as well. So every game that we've got becomes a challenge, and we've failed at quite a lot of challenges this season. So if we can start to show some consistency in these challenges, then that would be great as well. The lineup is already out, Mark. Lingard is playing, so Shady Abenaza. Where is the team lineup then? Because yet again, Twitter is slower than a mad one here. This is ridiculous. I always use Manchester United Twitter for the lineup. So where is the Manchester United lineup then? Really does wind me up a little bit here. Okay, it's just come out 57 seconds ago. 57 seconds. Okay, so Romero, Dalot. No start for Bruno and no start for Igalo. He's gone with the back five again. Back five away to Club Brugge. Well, Ollie, you answered the question yesterday and said United don't play with three centre-backs. It's just a stopgap. Yeah, I've got to say I'm a little bit surprised by that team. So Romero, Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Williams, Mata, Matic, Andreas, Lingard, Martial. So Mata, Matic, Andreas. Okay, yeah, I sort of see what he's going to do. Fernandes on the bench, James on the bench, Igalo on the bench, Fred on the bench, Wan-Bissaka on the bench, Eric Bailly on the bench. So the bench is very strong. There's an element of risk to this team. I'm just going to have to change it for you now, just so we've got the right team. And it's a bit of a... Ollie, I've just got to say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're a bit of an arsehole doing this to me, because I've now got to move this team ridiculously around to accommodate the team that you've actually selected, which is not the team that I'd predicted at all. So I've got to actually move Maguire across into the centre. I predicted that Lindelof was going to play. I didn't expect Luke Shaw to play. So that's going to take me a little bit of manoeuvre. No. I did think Luke Shaw was going to play. I've got him on the team sheet, haven't I? There. I'm just changing the team sheet on the screen at the moment for you, so you've got the right team. But I'm a little bit surprised that we're doing the old 3-5-2 again. To be honest with you, quite pleased that Fred's not playing. To be honest with you, I think Fred needed a rest, so him playing's not necessarily a problem. Would have liked to have seen Bruno play, but no, we're gonna play Lingard. I'd imagine Lingard will play in a front two with Martial, and then what we'll see is Juan Mata playing centrally. I mean, look, to be honest with you, Juan Mata should be playing in a game like this because Juan Mata is on 140 grand a week, and whether you rate him or not, he's a player that we should be playing in a game like this, because otherwise, what's the bloody point in having him? So Juan Mata plays, and we should now have the right team up on the screen. He says, yes, there's the change. So that's the Manchester United lineup for you, as confirmed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's wiser wisdom. I'm disappointed we're playing five at the back. I've got to be honest with you. I don't see why we're playing five at the back. Well, look, actually, let's not get into that argument. Let's pretend we're not playing 5 at the back, we're playing 3-5-2. I still don't know why we're playing 3 centre-backs again. We spent £80 million on Harry Maguire. Eric Bailly was superb on Monday night. Lindelof is an international centre-back. Why are we playing with 3 centre-backs? I think it limits our attack, especially when you've got Mata, who is slow, Lingard, who is not a forward, Pereira, who's not a holding midfielder. It could be a challenge today. I think it's going to be more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. I predicted 2-0. I could see us drawing this game, to be honest with you now, because I don't think we'll concede. I think defensively he's set us up to not concede, but it is a little bit worrying with Ollie that against Club Brugge he's going with 3 centre-backs to not concede goals. This is a manager who is trying to avoid banana skins, isn't it? Happy with the draw if we score and have a away goal for Old Trafford tie, says Josh Sutton. It looks, Josh, like that's... I was just about to say that. It looks like we're setting up exactly like that to not lose a game. But it's going to be a long Europa League if we're going to do this in every away tie, play with 3 centre-backs. What's your score prediction today, Mark? Are you upset about Fernandes and Agallo on the bench, says Plastic E? I would like to have seen Bruno Fernandes playing today. The lineup is the lineup that's on the left now. That's been confirmed. AH says it's crooked on the back. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'll change it for you. I don't like it myself when it's not right. There we go. Yeah, I think it's a defensive lineup, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And these are the sort of games where you wonder about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future, because you're just basically putting yourself before Manchester United, if I'm absolutely blunt, and that's what he's doing. He's going with these defensive lineups so that he doesn't get exposed, when actually we should be attacking teams. I think 3 centre-backs against Club Brugge is nothing short of a joke, to be honest with you. Doesn't mean we won't win the game, but it does mean that we won't be having loads of shots on goal, because most of it will be defensive. Smith Ting says the worst lineup so far this season. Pereira offers nothing. Can't even be bothered to watch this crap. Agallo, Fernandes, Bay on the bench. Christ, I don't really have a problem. No, look, what I want to say that is, like, I'm not being negative for negative's sake. I think I don't like the 3-5-2. I've said that many times. Even against Chelsea, I don't think we played particularly well with it, but we got the result. But I'm just looking at the teams that are left in this tournament that are a threat. Ajax, Inter. These are... No, that's not everybody anyway, but Ajax and Inter will be tough. But yeah, I just don't have a problem with Fred being rested. I think that's a good idea. Bruno, Dan James, Eric Bailly shouldn't play tonight as well. But a lot of people are not happy with the lineup. Matty Conway says this is shocking, Mark. Deep Red Gamer says, do you believe we have a chance to top 4 with 2 more clubs above us, even if Man City get banned and Chelsea drop with this level of coaching? Hashtag underperforming. And there is no away goal difference anymore, just most goals. UEFA changed the rules this season, says Kareem Magagle. Well, that's news to me, Kareem, if that's true. I don't know whether that is true. But Raphael says Agallo should have started. What is your score predictions? I must just say, I didn't have Agallo in my predicted lineup yesterday for the preview. And I don't think Agallo is ready to start games. I would like to see him get in at least half an hour, not 30 seconds, half an hour in this game is important for him, but I don't think he's quite ready to start games yet, so I don't have a massive problem with that. What a joke, says GH hashtag 7. Why has Lingard started and not Agallo and Bruno Fernandes? What a joke. Lingard wasn't even on the bench on Sunday, so I am somewhat surprised that he is starting this game, but Ollie always wants to give him a chance. Zachary Purvis says, maybe his plan is same as the FA Cup, 5-6 in midfield, gives us a chance to overload the midfield a bit and hopefully overrun them. Pissed about no Angel or Chong. I think we need to accept. I feel quite positive about United at the moment, and a lot of that's to do with Bruno, and a lot of that's to do with the win on Monday night. But we should always remember that we are on a knife edge, really, between slipping down to a good result and slipping down onto a bad result. And it should not be forgotten that Angel Gomez and Tahith Chong 6 months ago were being talked about as being ready and they're part of our future. 6 months later, they're refusing to sign new contracts and they want to leave the club. They'll try and paper over the cracks with that, and I think the club are trying to make you forget about Chong and Gomez, but what's happened with them is embarrassing, to say the least. And no, the away goals rule still stands. Geez, says Bay, you want to know it's me. I thought that. I did think that away goals does count. A lot of people are saying that as well. Get this man sacked ASAP, says Geordie Heller. And switching to 3-5-2 just shows the coaching has no long-term philosophy. Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I don't really understand why we're doing it. I don't really understand why we're doing it. It's just one. No, there's just no long-term plan when we're changing tactics like this month to month. But it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. Ollie needs look. The question marks around Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not subside because of one win against Chelsea, and they shouldn't do. Only flip-flops are going to allow that to happen, aren't they? That's not what's going to happen, and we know that's the case. But what he does need to do is he needs to keep the results rolling in, because that will keep people back a little bit if the results do keep rolling in. So that's what we need to see happening with United, and I hope we can win today. I hope we can. A lot of people not happy in the live comments about Lingard starting. Look, what can I say? Mata starts, Pereira starts, and Lingard starts. All three of the failed number 10s are actually starting in this game. If you look at it like that, it's quite interesting, isn't it? We brought Bruno Fernandes in to give us some creativity. He's rested tonight, and he plays all three of the failures, all in different positions. I think Mata will play as a number 10. I think Lingard will play off the striker, and Pereira will hold the midfield with Matic. So two of them are playing out of position. You could say they're out of position even as a number 10. Dalot playing. I think Dalot has looked okay. I'm quite happy that he's playing. Harry Maguire playing again. Never gets a rest, does he? Luke Shaw's done quite well. I mean, I don't think we'll concede. I think that back five. The only thing I'm scared about with that back five is the lack of communication, because I think people get in each other's way. Romero's a good player. Matic has been very good for us. Martial, I'd be a little bit worried if I was Anthony Martial. Am I going to get the service with Mata, Lingard and Pereira around me? Did you see on One Football, they said we are close to a director of football, the guy from PSG. Wonder how true that is. Love the show, Mark. I think 3-5-2 is because we're short on players in midfield, forward area, says Zachary Purvis. And Josh Sutton, doesn't Butterfingers Mingale play for Brugge? Is he playing? I hope so. I haven't looked at their team yet, but I think he does play for. Well, he does play for them, and I think he will be playing. On relation to the director of football news, just very, very quickly on that, the name of the guy that's been rumoured to come to us, his name's Antero Henrique. He is not liked by PSG fans. They thought he was a crap director of football. So it would be typical of United, where we go and appoint a director of football. United fans get really excited because we're appointing a director of football. Do your homework on him. Make your mind up about whether he's a good director of football, because this is typical Manchester United. Appoint a yes man to work with Woodward, say, look what we've done, and actually we haven't appointed a decent director of football at all. It just annoys me with United. They don't go and get the people they should get. They'll put somebody in the role, but it'll be somebody who's crap at the job. They won't go and get someone from RB Leipzig or anyone like that. They won't. They'll go and get somebody who they can say is in the job, and again is just another bloody money dodger for the Glazers. He bought Neymar, BK. I said go and do your research on him. Go and have a look at what he actually did to PSG, because any idiot could buy Neymar. Like, they spent how much money? 200 million? Any director of football can sign Neymar when you've got 200 million pounds to do it. Look at the wider things he did to PSG. He is not liked, he was ridiculed, and he didn't do his job very well. But you can make your own mind up. Vandy Kande, they all together will make a complete number 10, says Yutash Gupta. Rangnick would be good. And Mark, they're playing 4-3-3 and Mingale is the goalie, says Akvina. Do you ever see Liverpool or City changing formation, says Darlan Richardson? No, because they have a philosophy. We don't have a philosophy. Can I just say this on the formation thing? I'm disappointed that we're playing three centre-backs. I think it's overkill. I thought it was overkill at Chelsea. Like, Chelsea are a decent team. We didn't need three centre-backs to deal with one forward. Club Brugge, with all due respect, they may be winning the title in Belgium, but they are not European big hitters, and we're going to play with three centre-backs. It doesn't... I just don't get why we're doing it. Why didn't he rest Matic, Siar, Mutari? Well, I wonder if McTominay might be back for the Watford game then, because Matic really shouldn't be playing 3 games in a row. So, it'd be interesting to see if McTominay makes his comeback. Lingard will be playing up front, Ryan Burke. That's what we think is going to happen with that. And Greenwood is most likely ill, folk. Yeah, Elliott, McShane. Anyway, I've not really seen many people mentioning Mason Greenwood. Scott McTominay is not part of the squad for today. He did train with the team yesterday, but he didn't fly over to Belgium. And Mason Greenwood is ill, so he didn't fly over at all either. Luke Shaw or Williams out and moved to a back 4, says Travis. Yeah, look, I like Luke Shaw. I would have put Luke Shaw on the bench today. And people say we're short on midfield options. Well, Matic didn't need to play today because you could have just played a 4-3-3. You could have played Pereira as a holder and played Mata and... Well, no, maybe Matic did need to play. But if we'd played with a 4, we could have had Lingard on the right, Martial up front, and maybe Dan James off the left. Or we could have used Chong or Gomez. But, we're short on options because he didn't buy any strikers in the summer. And then he said that Gomez and Chong would be used. And now they want to leave. So he's got no options, really, has he, in the front 3? Club Brugge team is Mingale, Clinton... I'm not even going to read it out. Not even going to read it out because no one's going to know who they are. This lineup is terrible for Martial, says Ernest Tabari. Creativity is going to be the key, I think, in this game. Can we create the chances to beat Club Brugge? I think they've got a very good home record. In the Champions League, and let me remind people, Club Brugge are not a Europa League spammer. They're from the Champions League. They've dropped down from the Champions League. They were in a group with PSG and Real Madrid and Galatasaray. Galatasaray finished bottom of the group. Club Brugge finished 3rd. Club Brugge drew in the Bernabeu with Real Madrid. They lost at home to Real Madrid and they lost both games against PSG and they drew both games with Galatasaray. So they didn't have a massive impact in the Champions League, but they didn't really get themselves embarrassed either. They're quite good at home and I think that they're quite an energetic, fast team. So I think United should be winning this, and I think over 2 legs we will win. The important thing is, from a Manchester United progression point of view, is that Ollie would probably be happy with a draw and then beat them at Old Trafford. So, but I do think away goals are important. I think the way United's season has been this year, you wouldn't want to draw 0-0 and then draw 1-1 and go out at Old Trafford. So we do need to go and impart something in the game. I personally think if we can get out of this game with a 1-0 or a 2-0 with the players that we've rested, that would be seen as a good result for Ollie. Welcome to the United Stand Members Club, Graham Robinson. Remember, you can join by clicking the join button. Thanks for that. Please do smash a like on the video as well. And disappointed that Lingard's playing, says Mio89. Ollie is making a good decision by putting all focus on Watford and trying to survive today and then take this tie back to Old Trafford, says Ronan Barrett. And I think that's what he's trying to do, Ronan. I just don't like the 3-5-2. I just don't like the 3-5-2. I don't like the 3 centre-backs. I think it's a waste. I think you lose a player. And as somebody said before, you could just play with a back 4 and have an extra attacker. He knows nothing about football. It's business, says on Enrique's predecessor, says Joseph Robson. Yeah, which is probably why United have gone for him. Like I say, I don't think Antero Henrique is a good director of football appointment for Manchester United. I would implore you all to do your own homework. From what I've seen and heard of him, he looks like a businessman who is interested in making money for the club and not developing a football club. So, it'd be perfect for Woodward. Question about Lingard. Why would he change agent to Raiola if he isn't going to angle for a summer move? Yeah, I think Lingard's going to go in the summer, and I think and I do think it's good for Lingard to go in the summer. So I do think that will happen. 3-4-2-1 says Akshay Shastri. Well, whatever you call it, Akshay, it's 3 centre backs. So you can call it a 3-5-2-1. You can call it a 3-2-3-1-2. You can call it whatever you like, but it's 3 centre backs, and that's one too many for me. I don't like it. I think consistently we've seen when we've played with the 3 centre backs that we do give up a lot of chances. We saw it on Monday. We saw it against Liverpool. We saw it against Chelsea in the first half of the Carabao Cup. Because what happens is the centre backs, they're not used to playing in a back 3, so they all get in everybody's bloody way. So I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it, and I wish Ollie wouldn't do it, but he seems to enjoy doing it himself. So yeah, he's obviously going to keep doing it, isn't he? But I don't like it. Some people do. It's all about opinion. And yeah, have your say on that. That's what I would say. Mark, if we lose this over 2 legs, do you still think United will give Ollie time to get top 4? And that's from Riff MU. Oh, 100%. Absolutely 100%. We will definitely keep Ollie in the job while top 4 is available. He's not going to give that up. So, yeah. And to be fair, Jose Mourinho got embarrassed, didn't he, in the Champions League by Sevilla, and he still survived till the following December, and that happened in, was it early March? So yeah, I think he will be given time. So assessment of the situation so far, the positives and the negatives. The negatives for me are the formation. I don't like 3 centre backs. The positives for me: no Fred, he needs a rest. No Bruno. I would rest Bruno, to be honest. I know I would like, selfishly, I wanted to see him start, but I think that shows Ollie is using the squad. So Fred being rested is good. I think Wan-Bissaka being rested is good as well. Agarlo, I think this is a positive. I wouldn't have started Agarlo. I would get him on with half an hour to go. Negatives, look, how many more chances does Jesse Lingard need? Hopefully he can take the opportunity today. I think the same with Pereira as well. It's not just about Jesse, it's about Pereira. I think Mata's got to have a good game. Otherwise, everyone's going to be saying Martial's crap again, when actually he's going to be surrounded by crap service. Defensively, we look very strong, obviously, because we're stacked in the defence. And I do hope we can get a result. I mean, my big positive really is that there really does seem to be a weight being put on the Watford game on Sunday with the players that are being rested. RB Leipzig yesterday played with 3 centre-backs. It doesn't have to be defensive. We just have a defensive manager, says Jermaine Decret. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look, what we want to see in this game, and what we haven't seen enough of, is how many chances will we create on goal today? How many shots on target will we have today, whether they're goals or saves? That's something over the course of the season that we're really bad at. We're good at having possession, but we're not good at creating chances. And I think that today, we need to improve on that. And also positive to see Dalot playing. I thought he did well. I mean, look, the games that he's done well in, the opposition haven't been that great, but he's coming back from a long injury. He's important to us as well. So good to see Dalot back. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Let me just have a double check and see what target we could go for today. In relation to subscribers, we might be able to hit a target. Sometimes we can. It's not loading up, which is great. Now it has. 662,000 subscribers, top right hand corner. We just need another 180. So 180. So please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. And if you are a subscriber, please do share the video. City's money will get them back in the Champions League. Soccer today is all about money, so we must put rather much more focus on winning the Europa League, says Frederick Larson. Well, it's interesting about Man City, isn't it? Because there are certain journalists, well, let me just say Simon Stone for the BBC, who are, credible tier 1 journalists. And he sometimes gets accused of being a bit of a mouthpiece for Woodward, because he obviously gets information from them. But he put a tweet out last night sort of backing Man City. So that, to me, is quite telling when you've got a journalist of that standard coming out and sort of backing City. I think they will get away with it. Mark, would you go with 5-3-2 if it works for Ollie with the right recruitment, says Azamat Kamdamev. No, look, 5-3-2 can work every now and again, but do teams really consistently play that formation? No, they don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. Doesn't. I tell you what my problem is with 3-5-2 or 5-3-2 or 3-4, whatever bloody else. It don't feel like Manchester United. I like a flat back 4. That's the platform I want to build off. I don't like 4-2-3-1 because I think that's too defensive. I think everything we've done under Ollie has been defensive. When we had the flat back 4, we had 2 holding midfielders. I think that's overkill. And now we've gone with 3 centre-backs and 2 holding midfielders. So we're even more defensive down that middle. And what we're trying to do is, I know what he's trying to do. You know what he's trying to do. He's absolutely swamping the middle of the pitch defensively. So it's very hard for teams to get through us. Which is why we should see, and we have seen over the last few weeks, quite a lot of clean sheets. So I think, didn't we play three at the back, 3 centre-backs against Tranmere as well? I think if you statistically add up, and maybe somebody wants to do it in the live comments, go through our last 5 or 6 games and give us the percentage of games that we've started with 3 centre-backs, because it's probably quite high. And then have a look at the last 6 games and the amount of clean sheets we've had. People think, oh, we're keeping clean sheets, but we're keeping clean sheets at the expense of exciting football, which is pretty much what we've been trying to do all season. It's all about keeping the clean sheets, because then you don't lose, and maybe you get a goal at the other end with a bit of individual brilliance or a mistake, and you grind results out. It's what Jose was doing for 10 years. What do you think Sancho would bring to this team, says Eric Guerrero? Excitement when you get him on the ball. The Villa player we really need to looking at is McGinn. True box-to-box midfielder and an absolute workhorse, says Nick Lopez. Well, he's been out injured, hasn't he? He's a good player. Simon Stone and the Sun newspaper will turn a blind eye to City because they are as corrupt as all of them, says Red Baron. Strong words. I've got a lot. I don't agree with you on that one. I think Simon Stone's a credible journalist and somebody that I've got a lot of time for. But he certainly gets good information on Manchester United, and if he's coming out saying, City, speaking positively about the City situation, I imagine City will get out of it, to be fair. I don't know whether Catherine Jenkins is right, but she's saying 78% of the last 6 games we have played 3 at the back, 3 centre-backs. So there you go. Interesting about that one. United are going to win the Europa League, says Elish Laville. There is a chance that Manchester United can win the Europa League, and I think that that's got to be the aim. There is also a very good chance. I mean, look, in the live comments, give us just a one-word answer on this. Which, at this point in time, which do you think is our best chance of getting top 4? 4th in the Premier League or the Europa League? That has changed from what... If I'd asked you this question a week ago, before the Chelsea game, I guarantee you all would have said the Europa League is the best chance for us to get Champions League football. As of now, and this might change in a week's time, I think at the moment, for me, top 4 is our best chance of getting Champions League, because we're only 3 points off it. And so, Nayagan says, I feel that the manager at United know the players can't defend and thus have to play defensive. That's not fair on the manager as this forces his hands, says Nayagan. Well, I'm going to absolutely spin this around, Nayagan. Pep Guardiola knew that his team couldn't defend when he first took over Man City, but his philosophy was to go and win the game 4-3. So you can do it differently. If you're a good enough attacking coach, you can do it differently. Jace Malas says, I think our only chances at a Champions League spot is winning the Europa League. I just don't see us getting top 4 at this point in the season. And Tim Z35 says, any luck with you and Bruno's sinking boat sad music video? Somebody did send me one, but I to be honest, I never got a chance to look at it. Have you seen news on possible football director, says El Hart? Yes, I have. Don't want that person, to be honest. Having done my research, I don't rate him. Some people might, but I think he's just another money man, and I don't think he knows much about football, which is probably why Ed Woodward's going to pick him. But this is what United will do. United fans will moan about a director of football, and Ed Woodward will put someone in a director of football role who's not very good at being a director of football, who is just another yes man to Ed Woodward. So that's my feelings in relation to that one. I'm going to get Paul on, see what he thinks about the team as well. So just shout when you're in there, Paul. And top 4's ours. Come on, United, says Casey. And Bruno will definitely play as Mata can't run for 60 minutes, says Charlie Roll. Well, that's quite interesting. Paul, can you hear me? I'm good, thanks. How are you? What's your feelings on... well, we've not spoken since Chelsea, so what's your feelings on United at the moment and the team tonight? There seems to be a little bit more positivity, and here's an interesting one as well. Shahzank Sharma says, where do you think Ollie learnt this formation from? I learnt it from a book. I don't know. Mark Scammell says, I think we should prioritise league, especially with the situation with Man City. And, oh, you're muted. Sorry. That's my fault.
I think so.
You've been muted for a while there then. Sorry, I'll come back to you on that one. Let me just read these super chats. Sorry about that. It was my fault. Jordan Such says, hi, Mark.
Thanks, Tony.
I agree at the moment top four is more likely, especially given Son and Kane are out for Spurs for potentially the rest of the season. Given top four is more likely, would you have started Martial today? And Niagan says, Mark, we can't hear Paul, thank you. And Verratti or Thomas Partey, who would you rather get? Partey for me. I've got to go back to Paul because he was muted there. That's my fault. So I was asking you about the formation and your thoughts on United with that win after Chelsea. Is there cause to be positive, or do you think we will slip back into inconsistent times?
There is always cause to be positive, definitely. We had some very, very good individual performances against Chelsea, which won us the game. Ollie's a different story. I mean, to find positivity in Ollie, we need consistency. The 3-5-2, 5-3-2, 4-3-3, his lack of consistency and identity in his lineups and his formations just seems to me that he's clutching at straws. He's trying to land on something which is going to work because he hasn't quite found it yet. And considering he's 1 year into the job, is that acceptable? But 4 clean sheets in a row, I can see why he's sticking with the 3-5-2, 5-3-2. But today, when we got our 3 failed number 10s in the middle of the park, we'll have to see how it works, because in this formation we struggle with our attacking prowess. So, Club Brugge, it's going to be a tough one.
Well, I mentioned that myself. The 3 failed number 10s all starts. The new number 10 doesn't. Only one of them will play as a number 10, which is Mata. Lingard plays as a right striker and Pereira plays as a holding midfielder. Let's hope Martial, after 20 minutes, people aren't saying Martial's crap and lazy, because that's my fear. Because he is totally reliant on Lingard, Mata and Pereira, which sounds like a cow being reliant on Ronald McDonald saving it from an abattoir, to be honest. But we'll see what happens with that, because that creativity. But going back to 3-5-2, I don't know whether Flex was in the press conference yesterday, and he rung me up before he was in there, and he said, if I get to ask a question, I've got one for myself, but what would you like to be asked? And I said, I know it's really boring, but can you ask Ollie about the 3-5-2 and the longevity of it? And a lot of people probably thought, well, that's quite a boring question, but it served its purpose within 24 hours, because Ollie said, when Flex asked him about that, he said, well, United don't play with 3 centre-backs, but it's an option for us to use at the moment, which made me think, well, good, long-term he's not going to use it, but I think he's used it quite a lot in the last 6 games, and as you said, they're not conceding goals, so he's not losing games, so it could be an obsession that he sticks with, because, if you're not losing, you're not getting the pressure.
Yes, but is it sustainable? That's my thing. In my opinion, it seems a bit cowardly. But at the same time, I could be seen to be negative, because 4 clean sheets in a row compared to the rest of our season is no mean feat, especially against the teams that we've played as well. So if we don't concede goals with a formation that Ollie's chancing his arm on, why fix what ain't broke? You know what I mean? So I can see why he's running with it until it possibly breaks. This could be Ollie's new formation. Who knows? What he said in the press conference kind of goes against what he's doing at the moment, though. So this is what confuses me about Ollie. What he says and what he does baffles me. And there's no connectivity to it quite a lot of the time, and that's one of my irritants about Ollie. But if we keep a clean sheet today, again, who are we to argue against Ollie continuing with this formation, Mark? It's difficult to.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, look, part of me thinks, look, want's the wrong word. I accept that we should keep Solskjaer till May. Some people don't. I was going to ask you about that as well. I just think I don't want an interim manager. It's very obvious that Pochettino or Allegri wouldn't take the job till May. So look, Ollie stays in the job till May as far as I'm concerned. But part of me I just can't see me ever getting on board with a 3-5-2. And the reason for it is 3-5-2 can work. I think Leipzig last night showed how it can work. But we were playing 4-2-3-1 and it was very defensive. With 2 centre-backs and 2 holding midfielders. We're now playing 3 centre-backs and 2 holding midfielders. We've actually gained another central defensive player. So I will never get on board with this under Ollie. And to be honest with you, people moan about Mourinho, they moan about Simeone. Is there a lot of difference between how we play at the moment and the way Mourinho Spurs play or Atletico Madrid play? You could say that Atletico Madrid are a little bit more exciting than us going forward. But we are a very, very defensive side. And I know you've said many times that what is our philosophy? Have we got one? And to be fair, I don't know what you think. I think we do have one. I agree with you. I think a year's a long time. You've got to look at that year and say, well, is it just haphazard or is there a consistent theme? And for me, the consistent theme is 2 holding midfielders, very defensive, hit teams on the break.
Yes, and that's consistent with the 4-2-3-1 we play, or the 3-5-2. There's the 2 sitting midfielders and a defensive lineup because we're waiting to counter-attack and hit teams on the break. Now, one of the complaints I had against Mourinho was the fact that we never imposed our football on opposition teams. We never dominated games. We didn't have a philosophy where we could impose ourselves on another team and keep that consistent style of football throughout the entire season. And that gains consistency in performances. Now, you can apply the same logic to Ollie, and he's doing exactly the same thing as Mourinho was doing in a slightly more attacking way. I'll give you that, but we're adapting to the opposition that we have. We're Manchester United. We should have a style and a formation, which we, with the players that we have, now we've got Bruno as well. We should be pushing our style onto other teams, and they should be adapting to us. So, until that happens, I don't know if I'll ever be as comfortable as I could be with Ollie, because he just seems a little bit tactically naive.
Interesting, good super chat here from Mark Heslop. He says, if we plays this formation against Watford, then we know we're in trouble. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're very close to changing that number to 662,000. We're only 100 away, so subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you're new. But that's a very good point there from Mark, isn't it? That and Ashley Milton says Ollie will play more consistent system when he's got better players. He's improved the defence from fourth worst to fourth best. Signings will improve our ball retention in midfield and goal output in attack. I'm going to let you answer that. I mean, look, I think Mark's point's very, very good. I think how we play against Watford at home, if he goes with 3 centre-backs, I'd be concerned about the long-term future of this fucking formation. But the Ashley Melton one is interesting because I hear this a lot. Now, I don't agree with it, but I'll let you have your say, Paul. If Ollie had better players, would he play a better system?
This is it, Scott Longmuir as well, but we haven't got the players to get to play the way that Ollie wants to play. Now, I have to argue that, unfortunately, because I think we have better players than at least half of the Premier League. Yeah. And many of those teams below us have a philosophy and a style of play and a way of playing. You can even look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa concede goals. They're not very good in terms of results, but the way they play football, there's a style to it. You know how it's going to work. With us, it just seems like, as Saeed says, it's only going to freestyle. We just don't seem to be able to settle down into one particular way of playing, and that's a concern for me.
I totally agree with that. I've seen Man United play Rochdale, and they've got nowhere near the players we've got, but they move the ball around and they try to play football. Sheffield United, there are loads of players, there are loads of clubs across, and you might even see it with Bruges, and we saw it with AZ Alkmaar. AZ Alkmaar have not got the squad we've got. They were a better footballing side than us across both legs. We beat them because our quality came through. But their style of football, that's coaching. So I disagree with anybody who says Ollie needs better players to play a certain way. I can go and coach an under-8 teams and teach them how to triangle pass. Like, it's not about... Yeah. You'll have limitations, of course. I agree better players will take you to a higher level, but you don't need better players to play a philosophy of football. Do you think Klopp would go to Liverpool and say, I'm not playing my style of football till you get me Mane, Salah and Firmino? No, he goes and starts implementing it with the players that he's got and then adds players into the system. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous to say.
No, a couple of questions for you, which are kind of end game questions for me, which are, what's the end game for Ollie? What are we waiting for? I'm waiting for something to click, but I don't know what it is I'm waiting for. Are we waiting for Ollie to settle on one particular system? Does he need 3 more players in to play this particular football much better than he's been playing before? Is he going to change it when we get more players so we're, imposing on other teams? What are we waiting for? We're giving Ollie time, but what are we giving him time for? because I can't figure out what he wants or what we are. And that's after a year. How much longer does he, and how many more players does he need before he gets exactly what he wants, and then we're going to be fantastic? Because I can't see that happening. That's what I've got a problem with.
Well, let me just read some of these super chats first, and I'll come back to that. It's a good point. John 2Ju says, do you see Ollie going back to 4-3-3 when Pogba's back? I hope so. Thanks for the contribution, Carl Maitland. David Burke says, I think Ollie's very good at signing players. He's just not good at the tactical side of it. He'd make a good director of football. Jimmy Marseille says, we don't have the personnel in key roles. We may have more than talent, but we lack positional balance. No proper CDM, no Ranga. We just got a CAM. And Nico says, I don't care about clean sheets. I want free-flowing attacking football. Look at Atalanta just last night. 3 centre-backs while the rest attack. I just don't agree with anybody who... I feel I think you're kidding yourself if you're sat there thinking, oh, if Ollie had better players, he'd play better football. Because going back to what you were saying there, Paul, can you think of a manager that's been in role for 13 months and can get away with being in a role for 13 months and say, when you get me the right players, I'll start playing a certain way? I mean, this is a manager with a CV of bloody Cardiff and Mulder. Who is he? You can't wait 13 months to start playing the system. You've got to go in, and you don't have... He's lucky to have the time he's had. And people tuning in are probably going, oh, it's the Ollie Out show. It's not what we're actually getting into. If you've joined us, and 13,000 people will probably know, we're talking about the formation. We're talking about the future. Potentially if Ollie is going to be our manager next season, what is that future? Because some people out there still think when he gets better players in the summer, he'll play a different formation. I've never heard of a manager be in position 18 months and then go, oh, I've got the players I want now. Now I'll start implementing my formation.
It's the wrong way round. You come in, you look at Pep and Klopp, and it's no great surprise that they came in and they implemented their style of football immediately. And then with that style of football, they worked out in the first 6 months to a year what they were missing to be able to create that football that they want to play. And then they put the players in place to do so. Now, we're not doing that. We're doing it the completely opposite way around. If we're led to believe that we're just waiting for Ollie to get 5 more players, and then suddenly he's going to play this imposing, fantastic, positionally aware, triangly passing, imposing football. I just don't believe it's going to happen. So that's what I mean. What am I waiting for? I can't figure it out. But we should have had a system and style implemented by now, because it's been 13 months and Ollie still looks like he's juggling, spinning plates.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to shock everybody here. They're going to, if you're drinking any tea or you've got anything hot food around you, put it down for a minute for what I'm about to say. I've just been on my phone there while Paul was talking. I wasn't being rude. I wanted to get the bet on. I don't bet anymore. I hardly ever bet, but I've put a bet on. Do you know what my bet is? Can you even guess what my bet is, Paul?
You've put a bet on this game, I'm assuming.
You wouldn't expect this bet, so you might get it off that actually.
Right. I wish I put £1 on every game for Maguire to score a headed goal, because that was like 20-1. But I don't know, Mark. I'd say De Gea to score the winner.
No, I have got a bet 6-1.
He's not even playing.
That Jesse Lingard scores. Now I've given Lingard rightly.
It's not a bad bet.
A lot of stick I've given Lingard because he has been crap for a long, long time. But I've just got a feeling that Lingard's going to score tonight, and he's had a lot of stick in the live comments. But I tell you what, it's going to make me get behind Lingard actually. So maybe I should do this every game. Whether he deserves that or not is another question. But I think Jesse Lingard's going to score, and I've got a bet on 6-1. That he will score, which will give me 60 quid profit back if it happens. So there we go. Razimus, Matt. So if Lingard scores and I go mad, people are going to be
back of the net.
He doesn't even like Lingard. What's he doing? You know now. Because I thought I'd better tell you all, because if Lingard does score, I've been one of his biggest critics, and everyone will be like, what's wrong with Mark? Yeah. But I have got a bet on. Rasmus Malgren says, Graham Potter is a better example than Pep and Klopp. He has worse player than Ollie and plays type of football with Dunk and Duffy. Look, you're right. Brighton will probably get relegated, but they play better football and they're better coached. And Keep Metal Alive says, even Sir Alex Ferguson implemented a style during his bad season. Ollie is still a Cardiff relegation manager for me. I think, to me, Paul and everybody in the live comments, this is the thing that we've spoken about many times as well. He just doesn't do. And your simpleton fan doesn't acknowledge it. You know, your match of the day pundits, they will never talk about that because they think that football fans are thick. So they never delve into this sort of thing, when actually football fans are very clever. And Ollie hasn't got a credible style of play. And he can mess around with formations and everything like that. But until he gets a credible style of play, I don't think he will win a lot of United fans back. Because even the Chelsea game on Monday, in isolation, parking the bus and hitting Chelsea on the break at Stamford Bridge, I've got no problem with it. But he's done it all season, that's the problem. But if you watch that game back, if Batshuayi could actually finish, we would have probably drawn that game, maybe even lost that game. So he's got to implement a philosophy of play, because every team knows we will let them play, we will try and defend and hit them on the break. And that's just the way we play. And the craving for me is that over the next few months we do start to see us play some good football.
Yeah, we've won with a bit of luck over this season. I don't remember us losing and deserving to win. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're on a knife edge sometimes at 0-0, 1-0. Like if we win this, we're going to be happy and we're going to say, you know, that was a decent game, but we were a little bit lucky. If we lose it, it's going to be an absolute catastrophe because we know we haven't played well. So Ollie's results in some respects are saving him. Saying that, the results have been awful. I mean, it's listen, I'm Ollie out. I don't think he's the long-term future, but I'm with you in terms of Ollie's here until the end of the season. So if he's got this 3-5-2 formation and it's working, and we've got 4 clean sheets in a row after tonight, crack on, Ollie. You go for it, son. And by April, May, if he's got something cemented, which is working and pulling results out for us, and we get top 4, then there's a case to be put forward that Ollie can keep the job for another year. But if it's still Ollie going to freestyle with the erratic results and switching formations and switching players, then at the end of the year, you know, there's an argument to be had against him.
Gordon Murray says, Ollie is United through and through. Why is he playing Mourinho defensive football rather than the Fergie football that he was under? Or football he played for the first 3 months he was here? If we had the answer to that, and I'd love Ollie... That's the perfect press conference question, but you'd never be allowed to ask it. Ian Fonseca...
Or the football he promised us, Mark. That's, remember, the football he promised us when he took over. Yeah. That's what he promised us, and this is what we've got. He's got to be held accountable a little bit for his words.
Definitely, I remember him saying that. United have got to play a certain way. Ian Fonseca says, when United came to Singapore, I thought to myself, good times are coming. 9 to 10 months later, as much as I love Pogba and Ollie, it's time for them to go. Poor selection and formation today. Look, I don't think this formation will cost us the game, by the way. I think it might not be entertaining. We might not create many chances, but I don't expect us to lose. We'll come back to that in a minute. Christopher Williams says, the only reason I can see why Ollie plays this formation is because he knows that he might be going in the summer and he's just playing it safe with 5-3-2 and not implementing his own. I think that's the most intelligent comment of the night, to be honest. Ollie's had mad injuries. You can't argue. We miss Pogba, McTominay, Rashford, etc., who were injured for 4 months, and that we need signings. Then we say we are good enough to play Ollie's system properly with Pereira and co. Says Ashley Milton. Yeah, but you know what, Ashley? We had Pogba, we had Rashford, and we still lost to Crystal Palace at home. And we drew to Wolves, and we drew to Southampton. We had those players for the first 4 games of the season, and we were as awful as we've been now. So that excuse doesn't stand up. Yeah, those injuries have cost us, but we still started the season with 2 holding midfielders playing negative counter-attacking football. I'm sorry, that is the consistent. This is the way Ollie sets us up, and until he changes that, he's going to have critics. Josh Sutton says, Ollie never had a style of play. Even the first 3 months was the shackles off freestyle style off play. It was still defensive, not sustainable. And welcome to Ethan James, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. I just want to go back to that comment there, Paul, from Ian Fonseca. Not Ian Fonseca, sorry, not Ian. It was Christopher Williams, who says that, maybe he's playing this style of football because he knows he's close to getting the sack, and what's the best way to stop yourself getting the sack? Stop losing games.
He's in survival mode. He is in survival mode. I think that's against his morals of football. I think he wants to play a certain attacking mode, but he also wants to save his job, and I think that might be overriding what he possibly is trying to do with the team. We're on a knife edge. Every game is so crucial. We're top 4. Now top 5. If Ollie doesn't get in the Champions League, he's got to go. in my opinion. He has to, because he's been given how many chances? I'll keep saying this on the show. Last season, we bottled it completely. And that was unacceptable, in my opinion. This season, we're doing the same thing because everybody around us is crap. And they're throwing points at us, and we're just knocking them back with rubbish results. So we can't catch Chelsea, and Chelsea haven't won a game for God knows how long. So every opportunity is there for Ollie to keep his job and get Champions League football. If he doesn't get it, then he hasn't got a leg to stand on, in my opinion. And Poch is out there, so he must be crapping himself, really.
I think he's spot on. I mean, I think the reality is, and I keep saying it, is this is our worst start to a season since. Well, it's not even a start. I keep making that mistake. This is our worst season since 1989. The fact that we're in a top four race is embarrassing for Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs as well. You know, the fact that we are all in with the chance of top four and Chelsea have lost 9 games just shows you how bad a season it's been. But Stuart Grant makes a good point. He says, great to see the United stand in Bruges meeting with the players. Yeah, Flex was there with a photograph with Fred and Bruno and Martial and De Gea. But in all seriousness, well, I am very jealous. I'm very jealous. But well done to all you lot, because the growth of the United stand has enabled us to be able to go over to games and do these sort of things. So Flex is reaping the benefits of your eyes. But he did actually, and I do want to say this because I think that this is a very important message. We all have our opinions, and I'm very passionate about opinions. I don't care if somebody says such and such was crap, he shouldn't play it for United again, because you're judging them on their football ability. But where it crosses the line, you know, banter and football opinion is absolutely fine, but where it crosses the line is where it gets abusive. And Flex actually said today that when he was in the not the dressing room, Ollie probably would get him in the dressing room, to be fair, probably better tactics, but see, that's banter. Now, what happened is he was having some photographs, and he actually asked Jesse if he could have a quick chat with Jesse Lingard, and he basically said to him, look, you know what, we do fan channel, you do get mentioned quite a lot because you've not had a great season, we don't think, but the reality is we all want you to do well. It's all about football, and you know that you are spreading an important message about mental health and trolling, etc., which the channel and everyone who watches it backs you on, which I thought was a really nice thing to do and a really true thing to do.
Flex did that, did he?
Yeah. He took him aside and had a chat with him. Yeah, and Lingard said,
well, that takes some balls to start with. Well, and I hope Lingard took it the right way.
Well, Lingard could have said,
in every way, that's how we intend it.
Lingard could have said up yours and been you know, quite within his rights to do it, because he has had some, you know, quite strong feedback on this channel. He didn't. He said, no, I'm aware of the fan channel. Keep up the good work, and you know, I know what it's about. You know, if it's just about the football, that's fine, and that's true, and that's what it should be about. We should be criticising the players for not performing well in the shirt, because the shirt matters to us, but it shouldn't be ever about you know, abuse and all that other stuff that does go on.
I'll never say I hate a player. I'll never say I hate a player. I can say I don't like their performance; they're not doing very well. But hating somebody in regards to their football performance is not the way it should be. It should be separate. People in football should be separate.
He's going to score anyway.
Yeah, we should treat them with respect. You can criticise, but keep it as criticism. Don't get personal.
Ian Fonseca says, best scenario, Igalo FC scores assisted by Bruno. I think we'll see both of those in the second half. But Orca says this is Lingard's last chance saloon. I tell you what, Lingard's had more than enough drinks in the last chance saloon. He'd be very pissed if he was in the last chance saloon, Stu. He's been in there for about 12 months. But I've got a bet on that he's going to score. You know, this could be the redemption. Maybe the United stand magic can rub off on Lingard with that little chat with Flex. But I've got a bet on that he'll score, so I hope he does. Jay Singh says, Mark, who would you say that are the 3 biggest clubs in England, and do you think Igalo and Bruno should be playing today? 3 biggest clubs in England are United, Liverpool, and then a question mark for me. I don't know who's the biggest. They're big clubs. But I'll ask you, Paul, who should Igalo and Bruno have started today?
I would have started them. My lineup would have been Martial on the left, Igalo up top, and Bruno in his number 10, Matic behind him, and then any one of Mata, Lingard, and Pereira to cover the right wing and the other central defensive position. That would have been mine, and then the back 4 takes care of itself. Back 5 takes care of itself. But I don't think our midfield's going to struggle today, but I think with our back 5, we're going to keep it a clean sheet, and I think Lingard's going to get the only goal. So it's going to be 1-0 for me. I wonder what the odds are for that.
I agree with you on that. I think it will be a tight win for United. A lot depends on Mata, Pereira and Lingard. They've been very bad this season, but if they can... I think most of it depends on Club Brugge. I mean, if anybody says they're an expert in how well Club Brugge play, you're a liar. But
I haven't got a Scooby.
No, but I think I'm putting them in. They're better than Astana. They're better than Belgrade. They're probably around AZ Alkmaar level. Maybe not as good. And AZ Alkmaar they gave us a good game. They just couldn't score goals. And I think that is the thing I would say when United are playing the Tranmeres and the Derbies and the Rochdales and the Astanas. I think they can make it competitive, but I don't think they've got the firing power. And I think that's what United will get out. I think we will get. I'm pretty confident we'll get a clean sheet tonight. So therefore, there's a result there. But it looks like it's teaming down with rain as well, which wasn't immediately apparent. But yeah, it looks like it's very rainy there. So that could have an impact on the game as well.
Absolutely chucking it down. It should not really impact a great deal, in my opinion. I think we should still be. The Club Brugge, I haven't got a clue how good they are. I know nothing about the Belgium league. If you're from Belgium, I assume that you're not really going to cover it much. So we don't really know what to expect. If they're a good football inside, they keep it on the deck and they're good at ball retention, they could cause us some problems because we struggle against quick-moving teams because we don't do the same. But as you say, we got a back five to cover us, and they can't be that good because they play in the Belgium league. So I'll be surprised if we don't keep a clean sheet, and I'll be surprised if we don't score. So I can say nothing but we'll win this game. We'll win this game comfortably with a couple of scares, but Romero will pull out a decent save or two.
Well, interestingly enough, Sean Stevenson says that AZ Alkmaar, that Bruges are comfortably better than AZ Alkmaar, which I think that's quite an interesting thing then, isn't it? It makes it rather interesting in relation to how the game could go. So I hope that they are good. I said this at the start, Paul. I think when that win against Chelsea's got to be momentum. It can't be it can't be an isolated result. I think we're past all that. I think we're past all this stupid stuff that Ollie and us say about, yeah, but he's great against the top six. You know, we need consistency, and consistency is beating everybody. So it'll be good if Club Brugge are good tonight, because then if we get a good result against them, it's momentum. Watford, whatever you think about Watford, they're in a relegation battle, but they will be a big test on Sunday. If we win that, again, you can start feeling a bit bigger. And then Everton away, we know they're doing well at the moment. Win that, you've took 9 points from 3. You're through to the next stage of the Europa League. You've got some momentum there, and that's what United need to do. Yeah,
that's that mini winter break. It was kind of a mental reset for me. I thought, right, you know, I'm still Ollie out, but this is the start of a new season for Ollie. From here, you start taking points, you start winning games, you start putting in good performances and making us believe. And you know, you might start turning people around. You might start getting people who were Ollie out, getting back on the borderline, thinking, if you keep this up, Ollie, you know, you might be onto something. So I'm hoping with Bruno there, with McTominay coming back, with a little bit of rotation that we can do with players after coming back from injury. Bailly was immense the other day. If he can stop doing his ninja kick, like, you know, 360 roundhouses and stay fit, then he can come in, and then Ollie can build momentum. That's one thing we've not been able to do the entire season. We haven't won 3 games in a row since the beginning of the season. If Ollie can get that, then who knows what could happen. And these games are the start of it.
I agree. I think that it's going to be really interesting, because I think that even Garlo just gives a little bit of a buzz. Bruno gave a lot of buzz. The returning players like McTominay and Bailly give us a bit of buzz. Paul Pogba, whatever anybody thinks about it, I think we're better with him than without him. You know, sell him in the summer, I agree, but he gives us a bit of buzz as well. So I think that we've got to use that. And in honesty, all the points we've dropped this season, they have been close. I mean, I think Newcastle 1-0, West Ham was it 2-0. Little, you know, Ollie talks about fine margins. I don't think it's fine margins in relation to that we deserve to win those games, but I think with these better players, those fine margins might pull into our favour. It's interesting because I think the Premier League is so bad, we could get 4th place with bad tactics because we've got better players. And I think that could be a rescue service for Ollie. But it's definitely going to be interesting. And I personally think fourth spot's the place to go for, Paul.
So do I. I really do. I really think the rest of the Premier League are just handing each other a lifeline, saying everybody's sitting there thinking, who is going to take that lead? You know, who's going to go on that run, which is going to take them away from the bottom, 16 or whatever. And we could be that team. We beat Chelsea 2-0. We were a little bit lucky, but if we can smash Bruges up tonight, I don't think we will, but if we can, and take that into Watford, who are very beatable, they can bully us, but we can play better football than them. And then after that, that's 3 games in a row. If we can just build on that. But we got some tough games coming up, Mark, after the Watford game. So, you know, it's going to be difficult. But I've reset on Ollie. I'm Ollie out. Just convince me, Ollie, that there is hope for you, because I'd love nothing more for Ollie to take us to the title. But I don't believe he can.
Well, I saw Chelsea on Monday night. I didn't think they were that good. I think they've got injury problems. I think they're a good footballing side, but I think they're blunt and they haven't got depth in the attack, and you need goals to win games. I watched Spurs last night, and I think they look like they're going to be inconsistent. So United, the opportunity is there. Keep Metal Live E100 says United do have a team better than 3 of the 4 Premier teams. The United I remember would go to teams like Bruges with a second team and make their stadium our own. No negative tactics. And Gordon Murray says, surely Ollie sees what we see when the team plays. Other night, Bruno tried threading through long balls, but due to lack of players up the field, they weren't received by any attacking players. Well, that was the problem last night. Sorry, not last night. Yeah. Against the gap between the midfield and the attack. And this is what worries me about tonight, Paul. I saw it, and then Martial scored the goal, so everyone had to sit down. But the amount of people who start criticising Anthony Martial, saying he's crap, but he's getting absolutely zero service. The gap between the midfield.
He's the only one in the box.
Yeah.
He's the only one in the box, so he's got 3 defenders to mark him. We've got a 3-5-2, yeah. So our wing backs are going to push right up, and for that purpose of crossing the ball into the box. What you'll see is our wing backs get to the box, look up, no one's in there. They have to cut back and recycle, and then the other team resets their defence, and we haven't managed to benefit from the fact that we had a free player legging up the wing. So yeah, we need more players in the box. If we don't get them, Martial he's marked by 3 players, and there's no one else in there to score. So let's see how today works out. I'm hopeful we're going to get more goals, but I'd take a 1-0 all day long, because Ollie's got these Alex Ferguson tactics. On the away games,
it works.
Draw or win. Yeah, and then go home and smash them.
Okay, Paul, I'll get you on at half time if that's all right.
Cheers, mate. See you in a bit.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks for that. You'll see Paul in the live comments, no doubt, as well. One of our moderators, but always good points from Paul. And we are now, we are 4 minutes away from kick-off. The players and the referees, always important in a game of football, they're coming out, and it is raining heavily. So be interesting to see how that impacts on the game. We are 26 subscribers away from changing that to 662,000. So please do subscribe if you are new. Bottom right hand corner for that. Join in on the United Stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams after the game. We've got transfer news previews, fan call-ins, match reactions. I've got to do the top 10 chart show at some point over the next few days as well. United fans all in a little corner there trying to not get wet because it's chucking it down with rain, and I don't think they're undercover there. But yeah, be nice to get a few goals tonight, but remember we have got the second leg. I think Ollie has set us up not to lose and bring it back to Old Trafford, whilst keeping some players back for the game against Watford at the weekend. Harry Maguire playing again. I would be a bit concerned if we hadn't had the 2-week break for the winter break. I think he does play too many games, Harry Maguire, and I think he is the sort of player that wants to play a lot of games, but sometimes I think you do need to manage how many games people are playing. But Victor Lindelof comes back. He'll be wanting to have a good game after Eric Bailly's impressive game on Monday. So I would say Eric Bailly will play against Watford, but you never know how it might turn out. Jesse Lingard given an opportunity again. Mata Pereira given an opportunity. Romero obviously in goal. That's the way it works in the Europa. And Club Brugge are the big unknown. I don't know what to expect from Club Brugge, so let's wait to see what they're going to do. Bay got a knock against Chelsea, so hasn't played today, says Zed Jamie. Well, you know what, Zed Jamie? I wouldn't have played him tonight anyway. The whole point of Eric Bay is he's been out for 8 months. I would have never have played him Monday, Thursday, Sunday. Maybe Ollie would. I wouldn't have done that. So, interestingly enough, Club Brugge appear to play a 3-4-1-2, which is probably what we could be playing. Watch out for Percy Tau. Used to play for my local, says Joshua Kane. He's the right-sided attacker for them. But I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm afraid that Pereira, Mata and Lingard are all playing at the same time, says Hazel. Remember, Goldbridge, I've got a tenner on Jesse Lingard scoring. Not the first goal. I nearly went first goal. 14-1 he was to score the first goal, which is very good for any striker. He's obviously not a striker, but he's playing as a striker today. But I've gone for Lingard to score at any time, 6-1. So if Lingard scores, I might celebrate more than you would think I would celebrate a Jesse Lingard goal. But we're just about to kick off. So it is 5-6. Europa League. You know what? Even when United weren't in the Europa League, I always quite liked the Europa League. I don't know why, the Thursday night thing, it just sort of owns Thursday nights. It used to be Emmerdale. Now the Europa League's took over, and the 6 o'clock kickoffs are always quite, if you can get out of work and school and everything, they're quite good. I've just read Psycho Davies' comment. He says, "What the fuck is Ollie doing?" Which is sort of the reaction you have when you see the formation for the first time. We've been talking about it for an hour, so we're used to it now, Davey. But we're about to kick off. I'll be very surprised if United concede tonight. So realistically, it's about whether we can get a goal or two, and then be nice to put the tie to bed. A couple of away goals, clean sheet. We're off. We're up and running. Oh, the timer is absolutely way off. I don't know what we've done there. Sort it out. Oh, we'll get that sorted. So United on the attack anyway in the first few minutes here, and I'm very interested in what Sean said. He said that Club Brugge are way better than AZ Alkmaar. Well, AZ Alkmaar played us off the park a couple of times back in the autumn. So I'm intrigued to see whether that is the case. It won't take long for us to figure out whether they're better or worse. I don't think they're as good as AZ Alkmaar. I don't think they're probably far off, but I don't think that they are going to be better than that. Svi Mello says, "Mark, you know I'm a red through and through, but I have to show love to fellow South African in Tau, who is playing up front for Club Brugge." So let's have a look how it gets on. Score predictions, actually, in the live comments. If you want to chuck some of those in, I'll read a few out. Somebody says that we're playing a 4-1-4-1. We're not. We're definitely playing with the 3 centre-backs. It's just that in different phases of play, the Delo moves across and the defence moves across. See what I mean? Now you've got a back 5. Williams, Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, Delo. Yeah, it's not a 4. It's not a back 4. We've just seen the evidence of it. It's not a back 4. It's just about if it's on the left-hand side, Williams pushes up. If it's on the right-hand side, Delo pushes up. But when we haven't got the ball, you see the back 5. You just saw it there. And it's definitely... Mata seems to be playing a little bit closer to Martial. So it's a bit like a 3-4-2-1 when we're on the attack, and a 5-2-2-1 when we're not attacking. That is the right lineup on the pitch next to me, yeah. United are nearly 1-0 down here. Bloody hell, what are we doing? It's gone out for a goal kick. I'd have to watch this one back. I don't know what goes on here, but United, I thought they were going to concede. We're all just settling into our chairs. It's basically a quick throw-in. Brandon Williams is injured. Harry Maguire misses the tackle. The cutback's there. And to be fair, it should have been a foul on Lindelof because he went with his head. But United snoozing and nearly losing. Meg's on Maguire. Cut back. He could have had a bloody... I tell you what, that should have been a... That was a FIFA penalty by Romero on the striker. Should have been a bloody penalty. He was well late. I don't know why. Is there no VAR? On Dennis. I I didn't see that, and the referee obviously hasn't seen it. They're sort of like saying, why is there no penalty? It's a penalty, that is. We've got away with another one. Romero's tackle on the lad there is a disgrace. He's 2-footed. He's got his studs up. And the ref's ready to play on. There we go. If there is VAR as well, and they don't want to do anything about it. So obviously they probably thought that it was a fair tackle by Romero, but I only saw it once. It looked like a nasty challenge, but they've obviously have they got VAR in this? They have got VAR in this, yeah. So United may be getting away with one there. I'll be interested to see that back, but the Bruges player may be coming off. It was a bad tackle, but here's Martial. A little bit of skills. He's handballed it. VAR loves Man United, says Rainesh. And there is VAR in the knockout round, says Tyler. A few people saying Varchester United. I'd have to see a way. I mean, Chris Metcalf says we're a bit lucky to get away with that. I'd have to see it again. Effectively, if that was anywhere on the pitch, it would have been a free kick. So I think he's back on now. But Bruges started off quite well. Get rid of it, Matic. Martial. Good hold-up play there by Martial. Needs Jesse down the line. Not such a good pass. And not a very good pass again. But they look quite good on the ball, Bruges. Confident, passing it about. Alejandro Villa says, who would Man United face if they beat Bruges? Somebody tell him. There's a bit of a debate going on about whether whether VAR is currently present in the Europa League. I thought it was in the knockout stage, but apparently there is. Somebody just said there that it only gets used in the final. Hello, Mark from Florida, says Gabor Siski, and VAR is only going to be used in the final there. He's offside there. Put your flag up, ref. Yes, offside. So 6 minutes in, and to be fair, Bruges have started off the better team. They look like they've got some pace in their wide and central positions, which is always going to be a bit of a problem because Maguire and Lindelof aren't that quick. So we need to keep our eye out on that. Somebody said to me, as a Luke Shaw fan, but you don't like the 3-5-2. Here's a good run. This is good by Luke Shaw. Go on. As a Luke Shaw fan, but you don't like the 3-5-2, do you realise that if you play a flat back four, Luke Shaw wouldn't start because Brandon would? Yeah. I like Luke Shaw, but I don't want him. I don't want us to play a 3-5-2 to get Luke Shaw in the team. You know, Luke Shaw's a left back for me. And yeah, I've got no problems with Brandon Williams starting ahead of him, but I can't stand the 3-5-2. I just don't like it. But for me, tonight is about how many chances United create. This is the thing. We just don't create chances, and if we can create a lot of chances tonight, then maybe I can start to see the future of a 3-5-2. But for me, I just see it as a way not to concede goals. And we're having a lot of possession here, but where are we going with that possession? You know, I could have 99% possession and have no shots on goal if I wanted to. Oh, God. You know, Marshall Mathers, bye. Hope you see my messages, says Meal King. Yep, just saw them. And Dano Jr., VAR is being used today for the first time. The commentator said it. By the way, long time, Mark. Nice to see you live again. Finally got time to watch. Thanks, Dano. Lovely stuff. And VAR is being used then. Well, I've only seen that Romero thing once. I thought it looked a little bit like it should have been a foul, which would have been a penalty, but they felt not. So we move on. You've got to. I said this to Chelsea fans on Monday. You can moan about it, but it's not down. United aren't making the decisions. The referee and VAR is. You know. Lewis Brown is now asking who we've got in the next round. Right, for any idiot in the comments who thinks that we know who we've got in the next round, no game is over yet in the Europa League. So how could you even know who you've got in the next round when nobody's even through yet? Good play there by Brandon Williams. I mean, I think Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw are playing very well at the moment, and you know we are lucky to have two people who can play left back and play left back well, but it wouldn't be a reason to keep three at the back. A few people talking like Farshed about why is Bruno not playing. I haven't got a problem with Bruno and Fred not playing, to be honest, because it gives them a rest for the Watford game. But I did think Bruno might play tonight. Here's Harry Maguire bringing it forward. That's a terrible ball, and it will stay on. No, it won't. It'll go for a throw-in. I got that wrong. Yeah, how so bloody slow, says Kale Harvard Leesgaard. Let's see how many chances we can create tonight. Two Matters on the pitch. Bruges have got a player called Mata, number 77, and so have Manchester United, number 8. Imagine if Mata scores for them. Andrew Gemmell says, now that VAR has worked for United, do you still think it needs to be out of the game? Look, mate, I don't care if United win this game because of VAR. I don't like VAR. I'm not a flip-flop on things like that. I hate VAR. I think it's bad for football. So, you know, it can benefit us, it can screw us over. I don't like VAR. Lou Van Haal's in the crowd, apparently. So United having a lot of possession here at the moment, just passing it around without any penetration as per usual. Lots of possession, no action. And then a long ball forward. I mean, this is what we do. We pass the ball around, then we go and hit a long ball to nobody. I mean, we are not a long ball team. We do not have the players to play long ball football. It's quicker to type it. Who do you think wins this tournament, says Ollie Dodd? I think not many people even take that much notice in the Europa League, do they, Ollie? Who do you think is going to win the Europa League? Well, I think Will Maguire score, says Kian Barrett-Reed. I think that we are... I think we would be considered one of the favourites, as would Arsenal, but it much depends about how good an Inter and Ajax are this year in the Europa League. I mean, Inter may not take the Europa League too seriously because they're trying to win Serie A, which is going to be their priority, which could help us. So, look, United shouldn't dismiss this tournament. They definitely won't do. Just checking my phone there, actually, because I had a message about what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had said just before the game about Agallo, and he's basically said that Agallo hasn't trained much, he's not ready to start games. Hopefully we can get him on towards the end of the game. So I doubt he'd even get half an hour, to be honest with you. I think the game was when Agallo could have started, says Mojo. Oh, Thanks, Mojo, for the contribution, but I think I've just answered your answer there. Bit boring, says Parta, so far. The only way we'll lose this game is if we make a mistake at the back, says Halal Mehir. I think we're well stacked at the back, aren't we? That's the thing. I mean, we're just passing triangles around the back at the moment, and then Romero goes long again. There's no point going long. Like, you've got Lingard, Mata. Could you get me a tissue, please? How was it? Good. We've got Lingard, Mata, and Martial as the front three. Why would you ever hit a long ball? And Romero's hit it twice because we've been pressed around. Give it back to Lingard. Give it back. Yes. Go on. 1-2. This is good play. Quick 1-2. Pereira shoots and good save by Mingale. But that worked because Lingard picked it up. He gave it to Matic. Matic still took a touch. If you watch that back, it's really interesting. Lingard gives it to Matic. Matic takes a touch but gives it back to Lingard. Lingard plays it into Pereira. He should give it back to Lingard, but he has a shot and it's tipped wide. So can we do better on the corners from now on? Pereira's going to be on it. He can deliver a corner in his pink boots. So not bad height. No one's going to get on the end of it. But Luke Shaw's here. Into Matic. That was actually quite good from United, the Pereira chance. I think Pereira should have given it back to Lingard, but that movement was right. We need Martial to score. It's the only United song I know, says Stephen Goldman. And United are in trouble here. Oh, for God's sake! It's gone in! What a prat! What a prat! What's gone on here? Manchester United have come undone. They've come undone like a pair of clown's trousers. What is going on here? Bloody hell. Dennis the Menace has scored. He's the one that Romero fouled. It's a long ball. It's a long ball. Romero's doing this, but can we see the goal back, please? A goal's gone in. Can we see the bloody goal back? Oh, let's show the crowd. Oh, we're fuming. Give us the bloody goal back. Here we go. It's a long ball. Lindelof all over the shop. Williams can't get there. Helpless defending. Helpless defending, that is. Lindelof, get in the bin. Brandon Williams, not quick enough. Helpless defending. Like the bloody last Rolo in a Weight Watchers buffet. Helpless. It's 1-0 to Club Brugge. And that's crap. That's awful defending. Awful. A long ball over the top. I ridiculed John Terry for this in World Cup 2010. A goalkeeper should not be getting assists. That is a joke. Lindelof and Brandon Williams there. You have got to do a lot better. This is high-end football. And I like Brandon Williams and I like Lindelof, but that is poor. It's a long ball over the top and you've been pushed off. You've been pushed over by a sprinter. That's what's happened. Let's not just pick on Lindelof because it's fashionable. Brandon Williams has got to do a lot better there, and we all love Brandon Williams, but he has got to be stronger there. He has got to anticipate that as well. I think Lindelof's more at blame, but they're both soft there. Soft as a Mr. Whippy ice cream. It ain't going to work. So United have put themselves into... it's just typical United, really. We actually had the best attack we've had of the game so far, and then they go and score. And that's who was it who said in the live comments, United won't... I said we won't concede. We've conceded after 16 minutes because we've made a defensive error. What's the point in playing three at the back? Play three at the back and then concede a crap goal. It's just typical, isn't it? Romero's got to take some blame as well. Well, Brugge are all over United at the moment. We've got so many defenders. I'll tell you what, it could have been 2-0 there. We have got so many defenders on the pitch. And we could have been 2-0 down. dear me. Well, it's a corner to Club Brugge now. They've just passed one sideways, just wide of the post. But corner comes in. Martial heads it out. We're all over the place at the moment. Cross comes in again. United get rid of it. It was Delo, not Lindelof, Mark. What was Romero doing when they scored, says Louis Dresen. And this is a lineup that should get Ollie the sack, says Andrew Rossi. Plenty of time to go yet. But I think defensively that's the sort of goal you concede in school football or on a Sunday morning pub football. The goalkeeper kicks it from a goal kick and their striker's running through one-on-one. Whenever we concede, even if it's not Lindelof's fault, you never see him busting a gut to cover, never thinks of defending first, always passing men on to others, says Cobb Ross Aikins. Gary Richards says, why aren't you blaming Romero, for God's sake? You know why I don't blame Romero? Because I'm not a goalkeeper and I've never been a goalkeeper. I've played many positions as an outfield player. So, I always will, and I'm sure some people agree with me. I don't look at the goalkeeper, I look at the players. And the reality is, whether Romero's in the wrong or not, Brandon Williams is not catching up with Dennis. And Delo or Lindelof, whichever player it was, is not catching up with Dennis. The damage is done. Even if Romero doesn't come out, Dennis is still running through one-on-one on goal and probably scores. So yeah, Romero probably shouldn't be coming out of his line that much, but Dennis is already one-on-one. So we've already made the mistake. Defensively, what are we doing? Somebody's just got to drop there. Like, if a goalkeeper's going to blast it forward, somebody's just got to drop 10 yards. You can't allow a goalkeeper to put somebody through one-on-one when you're playing a 3-5-2. So that was why I didn't really talk about Romero as much, because I'm not a goalkeeper. Whenever we can, yeah, I've read that from Cobb Ross Aikins. So look, Dennis is extremely fast, says XD. Well, this is why Manchester United will have people who are paid money to analyse the opposition, and this is why when they've got a goal kick, if they've got fast strikers, you say to your defenders, don't try and play offside on the halfway line, because that can go very wrong, because if they run from their own half, they're not offside. Drop 10 yards. We didn't do it. But I don't know whether they've been told that, but you would surely expect that to happen. Soon as the lineup was out, I knew this would happen, says Sharma. You see, I disagree with that. I didn't think we would concede, because we're playing 3 bloody centre-backs. How can you play 3 centre-backs and 2 holding midfielders and still bloody concede in the first 20 minutes? But the challenge is there for United now. We said that we could keep a clean sheet. We haven't done that. But we did say we could win the game if people like Mata, Pereira and Lingard turned up. Well, they've got to turn up now, because it ain't going to be long before everyone's picking on Martial again. But as I said before the game, trusting Martial. Oh my God, again. I think Romero's been told to come off his line a lot, because he's just done it again there. That may be a tactic. So blaming Romero may have been told to come off the back line. But yeah, those people who want to pick on Martial because he's not having a good game again, Martial with Pereira and Mata and Lingard behind him, it's a little bit like asking Ronald McDonald to look after your cow, innit? He's going to get slaughtered. So we've got to try and create something. But at the moment, we're way second. How can we really think Sancho will come for this, says Smith Jones. Champions League football's the only hope there. And if Romero did not come out, we have more time to defend, says your boy Irfan. Mate, he's through one-on-one. No one's catching him. Watch it at half-time. Romero probably shouldn't come out, but he's through one-on-one. Williams ain't getting back. No way. Honestly, we should pack it up and focus on the Premier League, says Charlie Welsh. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the plan all along. I think Romero's been told to be off his line. I think the fact that he just came off his line then, I think he's been told to come off his line. Is Lingard. Tried the reverse pass, didn't quite work. So, what we thought with... I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not going to be arrogant and say I expected us to win this game. We didn't know what this game was going to be all about. And at the moment, it's obvious that Club Brugge are quite a decent side. Lingard and Andreas ain't even good enough for Europa League. Why are they at our club? They're terrible, says Sean Turner. And Pumpkin Spice Latte. I've always loved that username. How you doing, pal? Says, we miss Fred so much. There is no one to receive the ball from the defenders and feed forward. I feel sorry for Matic and... I never thought I'd say these words. I feel sorry for Matic. I mean, it shows you how well Matic has been playing recently. I feel sorry for Matic and Martial because they're surrounded with players that just are not up to the challenge. Aya says the game's not done. I didn't say it was. I'm not one of those people who said the game's done. Do not put me into that category. United can get back into this game. Of course they can. Stuart Wallace says, I hope this shuts up any Ollie in supporters after the Chelsea win. What the hell are these defensive tactics? This is painful but not surprising. And Keep Metal Alive E100 says, traditionally we play a back four, plays a back five. Yeah. We've got a foul on Luke Shaw here, so it's an opportunity for United to whip a ball into the box. And hopefully we will do that. Martial. Oh, I thought he'd found a way through to Mata there, but Brugge confidently passing it out from the back there and they win a free kick. Boom, boom, boom. Well. Come on, Romero just stood still outside and forced Dennis to shoot straight away. Had he stayed in goal, the defenders could have done more, says Lewis Dresden. We'll watch it back at half-time, Louis, but I don't think you understand that Dennis has got the run on Williams and he ain't getting back. He's running through one-on-one. So, look, Romero coming off his line, fine. We can reassess that, but the defenders have whatever happens there, the defenders have messed up. And whether it's Williams and Lindelof or whoever it is, they've got to drop in that situation. I cannot... I wish... Well, I wasn't even doing YouTube then. 2010 World Cup quarter-final against Germany. They hit a long ball, the centre-backs let it bounce, and they score a goal. It's the most embarrassing thing. If you've ever done any level of football, the most embarrassing thing for a defence is when the goalkeeper gets an assist from a punt forward. You've got all... It's the easiest thing to defend because you've got all the time in the world to see the ball coming. Should never happen. It's a defensive catastrophe, that. Mingale with the same amount of assists in 15 minutes of one game as Lingard has gotten in the entire season. And Mata's gonna need to do something quick. Only good for 70 minutes before needing a sub. Keep up the good work, Mark, says Jay Kellogg's. Yeah. And the corner there. Right, everybody defend now. Yeah, it had to be bloody Mingale with the assist, didn't it? Ex-Liverpool. It's just that. It's just the way this season's going, isn't it? Liverpool fans, you may as well get this season on record. It ain't ever going to get any better. Wow, that's hot. Hot. Patrick Rafferty says Matic is Ricky's shining light. Well, I don't know what Ricky's going to say tonight. Listen up. Matic and Mata were superb tonight, Fleck. They were superb. I know they were crap, but it's what they were doing, what they were trying to do. I could see what they wanted to do, and that's what matters. Juan Mata is the best player this world's ever seen, and I put him above Pele. Oh my life. What a save by Romero. Delot really lucky here. Dennis the Menace is ripping United apart here. Delot dives in. And if I was playing FIFA and I was controlling Dennis here, I would have just gone into the tackle because it's a stonewall penalty, but he stays on his feet. Look at Delot there. He could have gone down. He stayed on his feet. Too honest by Dennis there. And Romero makes the save. People saying why no Bruno. I think we will be seeing some Bruno second half. Cross comes in, up by Lindelof. Get it, Mata. Kick the ball, Mata. Offside anyway. Sophie says bad tackle from Delo. That could have been a penalty, and we're lucky because I tell you what, if that had been Salah or Mane, they would have made the connection. Because if a defender slides in like that and misses the ball, you've got every right as an attacker to make sure there's some contact. So he got away with it there, but I think Dennis saw the headlines for a couple of goals. Wish someone loved me as much as Ricky does Matter, says Murray. Ricky, we'll do some more Ricky in a minute. You should listen to the podcast. Ricky's on there every week. It's basically me doing a Ricky thing. I feel sorry for Matic. He's been quality lately. Only player out there with a bit of urgency, and he's got clowns playing in front of him, says Sean Turner. Yeah, it's the same with Martial as well. Same with that. There'll be some of you coming in from work thinking, what the hell's going on? Yeah, we are 1-0 down. And here's Mata up against Luke Shaw, who's defended really well there, and he's won a free kick. That's good pace from Luke Shaw there. Totally agree on the defenders messing up too, but Romero just didn't look good either. Hopefully we get a couple back, maybe even a Lingard goal, says Lewis Dresden. Well, I've got a tenner on Lingard scoring. Call me an idiot. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We have got fan cams. Ricky's actually over at this game, by the way. Make sure you watch the fan cams later. Saeed is over there. Obviously, Flex is over there. And Ricky's gone over as well. So it's going to be great. Hopefully, we will get a Mata and Matic masterclass. And Ricky can be, in his element. He'll be very happy that they're both playing anyway. Lingard. Nips in. Wins it back. Puts it out wide to Brandon. Oh, I tell you what, Brandon Williams has had a bad game tonight, isn't he? He's having a bad game. This is the thing with youngsters, though. I won't go in on Brandon Williams. He's not having a very good game, but he's a young lad. And I keep saying this. People say, oh, Brandon's got left back on lockdown. They don't understand what actually happens when you play teenagers. You can't play them every week because you will exhaust their talent. They need to be in and out. A little bit of a break here, a little bit of a break there. Ali Aliv says, Mark, this club is eating my body parts. And Paint Job Bythons, thanks for the contribution there. P. Oath Guy says, speaking of embarrassing goals for England, what were your thoughts on Suarez's goal in the World Cup Brazil? I don't know which one you're on about, mate. I normally would as well. Mingale launched the ball over the centre-backs. It was Delo and Williams, the wing-backs, covering Dennis for some reason, says Sean Finity. Probably because the centre-backs were up. Defending, because we just had a corner. But that's inexperience. Delo isn't the normal right back, and Brandon Williams is a teenager. Somebody needs to be having a word with them and saying, when you're the last two, you've got to drop in. You can't go with pace on the halfway line as well. Offside is out of the question. If you're on the halfway line, offside is out of the question because if you're in your own half or you're on the line, you're not offside. So you've got to drop, and neither of them drop. But Bruges are looking dangerous here. I think we can turn round a scoreline at Old Trafford, but I wouldn't fancy us turning round 2-0. Zed Jamie says the coaching is disgustingly bad. Freestyle football, says hashtag Saeed, says hashtag ribs. Sorry, not hashtag ribs. 32 minutes gone. I think United have had one shot from Pereira outside the box. So effectively, half an hour gone. No shots on goal from within the box. And Bruges are all over us at the moment. And we've got Delo on the ball. Look. I will be blunt because that's what I do, and I know people don't like this sometimes. What have you seen for half an hour? What have we seen for the last year? We set ourselves up with 3 centre-backs, with 2 holding midfielders. We don't create chances. We're not exciting. If we go 1-0 down, we're screwed because the game plan's gone. Our game plan is to keep a clean sheet and score, and then keep defending and get a second goal. If we go behind in a game, we struggle because we're not set up to attack. Get Bruno and Fred in the second half. They are game changers, says your boy Irfan. And Ellie Fee says, I know this sounds horrible. I think if we finish out of Europe completely, Glazers might either sell or invest properly. Well, it doesn't sound horrible. It sounds like it could be a reality, to be honest with you. Why were all the centre-backs up for the corner? There is no need for it. Also, Maguire is not leading this team like a real captain does, says Kyle Middleton. Well, Luke Shaw's over 6 foot, and Lindelof and Maguire are good in the air, so I suppose that's why. How's your day, Mark? From Even. Love the content, says LOL Leprechaun. It's been good up until this point. I went to see that film 1917 this afternoon, which I thought was a good film. I'd been wanting to see it for a while. But I don't know what I would call this game if it was a film. Hellraiser 5. Broken. Brokeback Mountain at the moment, isn't it? But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Get Lingard off immediately, says Derek Eccles. Yeah, but what's Mata doing? I think we're all too easy to go in on Lingard because he has been bad for a while. But you know, Lingard gets the ball and plays a 5-yard pass. That's pretty much been his game for years. Mata's not been in the game. Pereira's not been in the game. Kurt Hasnard, welcome, latest member of the United Stand Members Club, and welcome to Mike Byrne as well. Thanks for joining the Members Club. Remember, if you are a member, check out the community tab each week. We ask you for the questions for the podcast. You can listen to the podcast through the links in the video description. And welcome to Sergey Mamedov, latest member of the United Stand Members Club as well. Tomorrow, live naked, says Herrera. Martial's through! Martial scores! 1-1, Manchester United. And I think it's a very, very similar goal to what Bruges scored. Every time I look off the screen, something happens. Who gets the assist on this then? Because it's a very similar goal. It's cold as ice, Anthony Martial. He's God, it takes so long. They take so long on this. But Martial there is shouting at people. It's a defensive error. It's a throw-in from Club Brugge. The defender lets it bounce and Martial just palms him off and runs through. So there is no assist. It actually comes from a throw-in. So how many times does this happen? Defensive error, but superb by Martial. That is leadership. That is superb. 1-1, Manchester United. Proper striker, making something out of nothing. So United, a bit of a get out of jail card there because we've not been very good. The chance comes from a defensive error and Manchester United are back in it, 1-1. And of course, as well, a huge goal. So now Ollie will be like, let's defend again because 1-1 becomes a good result because you've got the away goal. So a get out of jail card in many ways, but I'm over the moon for Anthony Martial. Because he's had a lot of critics recently, and I think the goals that he's scored in the last 2 games are really reflective of the player that he can be as a striker for Manchester United. Absolutely nothing going on there. There's no assist. People are saying it's a lucky goal. It's not a lucky goal. It's a quality goal. It's Anthony Martial. It's not a team goal. It's not a created goal. It's just brilliance from Anthony Martial. And Mata shoots stupidly from over the bar. Matty Conway says, totally selfish by Ollie. How much longer do we have to endure this rubbish? Ollie out. And Len Brethen says, don't understand Ollie tactics. Against big teams we are great, but games like these we can't seem to win. It's so frustrating. Well, we're 1-1 because of a mistake but at the back by Club Brugge and some really good work from Anthony Martial, who's got 2 goals in 2 games. TII says it's not brilliance. I tell you what, TII, if you've ever played football at any level and you are running from the halfway line, not every striker scores those goals. So Anthony Martial has had the foresight to anticipate a mistake, hold off the centre-back and run quite a distance and put it past the goalkeeper. I thought it was a very good goal for a striker. Very good goal. Probably not what United deserve, but mistakes happen. And Manchester United have benefited from a mistake there because we created next to nothing up until that goal. And in the context of the game, that could be absolutely massive. Away goals count. So United will go back to the whatever the plan was at the start now. Defensive, keep it tight at the back, hit them on the break. Oh, Marcel Shaw's won it. Mata. Foul. How is this that good? It's a defensive error. I'm not going to talk about it again. Obviously, people just don't appreciate the brilliance of Anthony Martial. I'm still here. The telly's just been knocked off, so I have got to go around. Come on, get back working. I don't know what's gone wrong here. Yes, it's on again. Thank you. It's the wire in the telly, you see. Sometimes it gets knocked. Because I've got a big cable. I've got a big HDMI cable bringing it into another room. That's what happens. At least it's not Peppa Pig. We can all rest easy. So, 1-1, 40 minutes gone. Pradney Wadke says, I'm not sure if you've spoken about this and I missed it, but apparently Tony has unfollowed Pogba on Instagram. What do you think happened? Oh, I don't notice. I don't take any notice of that crap. Sagar Kapoor says, Mark, this is so sickening to see. Ole going to just hanging on by a thin thread when everyone can see only one outcome for Ole. We need to act now. Well, we're playing with a little bit more confidence now because it's 1-1 and little bits of luck can make a change. And I would imagine United's fitness levels will be better than Club Brugge, so maybe we grow into the game. Good play by Jesse Lingard, passing it out to Delo. There's a lot of space. I think United just need to be brave in this game. There's loads of space in the attack. Pereira. Oh, Brandon Williams. He should be making it 2-1 on the back post, and he's put it into orbit. Not having a great game, old Brandon, at the moment. For everyone saying defensive error, if Aguero or Kane scored it, then it's brilliant anticipation. Pure striker, says Noel Paul. Yeah, I don't get the criticisms of Anthony Martial. I think people have made their mind up on a player that's been starved of oxygen all season, to be honest. What a knockdown that is by Club Brugge, and they're still on the attack. He's going to shoot from ridiculous area there. That's gone wide. Don't worry about that. If Haaland scores that goal, everyone's praising him, says Tim Z35. Exactly. And Rosen723 says, where's all the Martial haters now? He's got 3 goals in the last 4 games. What I like about the goals is they're all different goals, aren't they? The header against Chelsea was world class. That goal was all about being able to run with the ball and stay under pressure and finish it. So, very, very pleased with Martial. DDG says that Lingard's playing well. Well, how can you say he's playing well and then 5 minutes ago everyone was saying take him off? He's had a good 5 minutes. I think Bruges are on the ropes here. They need half time, so we should be trying to get the second goal. Jeet Chowdhury says that Williams is having a bit of a bad game. I think Brandon Williams probably just needs a bit of a rest. He's a young player. And with young players, you do need to rest them. Martial, strong again. Hits the post. He's on fire at the moment. Anthony Martial, edge of the box, fights off the left back. Hits it with his left foot. Beats Mingele and hits the post. Should be 2-1. It's a one-man show at the moment with Martial. And people have the audacity to criticise this player. you're watching one of United's best ever players. No, I wouldn't go that far, but he's a fantastic talent. United have picked up a free kick on the edge of the box here. Watch Martial's shot back here. Good shot. Mingale's nowhere. In fact, I think Mingale might have tipped it onto the post, in all fairness. Martial scored for United if you're just coming in. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. Chucking it down with rain, which isn't actually apparent from the normal camera view. A lot of people saying Mingale did actually get a save on that. Brendan Williams needs to be substituted, says Michel Lazarangui. Pereira. Oh, I tell you what, he had the good angle there to put in a decent cross, and Brugge have done well to get rid. And Brugge do look to me like they're a bit on the ropes here. That goal from United really has changed the momentum of this game. About 30 seconds to go to half time. Well, about a minute. Let's say a minute. And I've looked down and missed something here. I think Pereira... No, there's nothing in that. There's nothing in that. It's the free kick. Martial is brilliant, says Dwayne 14. Do I think Dennis is good enough to play for Manchester United, says our ROA Productions? What, after watching him for 45 minutes? No. The goal he scored was a defensive error. Well, the thing is, somebody just said there that Martial needs confidence, and we're watching it back here. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no assist on that goal. He makes it himself from a defensive error. It comes from a Brugge throw-in. There is no United player that gets anywhere near that ball. He makes it out of himself, and that's the problem tonight. If you want to look at it from a constructive point of view, he's had no service again. Everything he's had to do, he's done off his own. The shot off the post, he wins the ball himself. The goal, he wins the ball himself. He's getting no service yet again. So all those people that have been criticising Martial recently, look at the service he's had in those games. He doesn't get any service. He's had no service tonight. No one's given him a chance. He's had to go and get it himself. It's raining like Manchester. We're going to win in it, says Shyam Sundar Singh. And welcome to Alan Dicker, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Black Banana Man says, give Pereira a yellow so he misses next match. And Muses Liam says, I want to see a style of football where we create chances. Unfortunately not happening even against FC Bruges. And Neo Doga says, he scored 2 against Madrid. Dennis did. Okay. And that's half time. Stop the clock. So, what were your thoughts on that half, everybody? And I will give you mine as well. Mark, why the hell should getting into the Champions League next season keep Ollie in a job? If you want to get better anywhere near the top in the near future, the sooner Ollie has gone, the better. Getting Champions League football just papers the cracks. Right, well, there's Jordan's thoughts. Welcome to Rod Mace, latest member of the United Stand Members Club, and Josh Sutton says, Lingard is doing okay. He's running the lines, he's tried triangles and 1-2s with other midfielders until Pereira killed all the momentum. And Deepan Biswas, our passing is shocking, must be less than 50%, and Brandon Williams is really struggling. I tell you what, it's a nasty pitch to play on because it's so wet. But my thoughts on that half are this. The goal is inexcusable. I'm sure we'll see it back at half-time, but it's inexcusable to concede a goal like that at any level of football. It's an assist for the goalkeeper. You're on the halfway line. You're giving someone a run through. The defenders are at fault and the goalkeeper's at fault. It's poor from everybody involved. That they had chances to score anyway. It's not like that was the one thing. They did have chances to score anyway. And then Martial, effectively, we would have been going in at half time. You take away the Martial goal, we would have been going in at half time with no shots on target in the penalty box. So, yeah, Martial hit the post. He was outside the box. Pereira forced a save outside the box. Yet again, we're not creating chances for our forwards because we're not creative enough. But Martial jumps on a mistake from Club Brugge, runs it in, scores a great goal, 1-1. We get the away goal. And I would say, to be honest with you, we're probably a little bit lucky to be 1-1 at half-time. I thought we finished the half quite well because we got quite confident after the Martial goal. But Martial makes that goal out of nothing. And the better team has been Club Brugge up until up until when we scored. So again, I think a lot of this, and a lot of people will be saying it comes down to the tactics. How can you play 3 centre-backs, a back 5, two holding midfielders, and concede the chances like we have? Forget the goal, we've still conceded chances. We're overloaded in the defence, and we're still conceding chances. And we're not creating chances because we're overloaded defensively. So we're a defensive side, and it's not good to watch. We're not entertaining to watch. He's got to do something about this. Now, whether he's got the ball second half to take a defender off and go more attacking, maybe get Bruno on, I don't know. But we are going to struggle if we keep with this formation. Mark, I'm so tired of the lazy counter-attacking football. This fast, fluid football is all bullshit. Please, Ed Woodward, get a manager who plays beautiful and interesting football. We are scoring only after mistakes or personal brilliance, says Sergei Mamedov. And that has been the case for quite a while. A few people say Lingard needs to come off. What I would say to those people is, I'm not saying Lingard's been great, but why is Lingard's performance any worse than Juan Mata's? Because Juan Mata is on the pitch, contrary to popular rumour. He is on the pitch, and I think he's been awful. To be fair to Lingard, I've actually noticed Lingard on the ball. I've not noticed Mata at all. I think Mata's hardly been in the game. Pereira, probably, to be fair, his usual sort of game. But I think that United, Bruges are going to tire in that second half, and United need to use the space that is there. But Paul, what do you think?
We're rubbish.
To the point straight away. Yeah, I mean, look, it's always a bit difficult when you're sat here on your own with the live comments to sometimes gauge what people think. But yeah, what was your thoughts on that half then, in general?
I don't know what we're trying to do, Mark. We can't defend with 5 at the back. We can't attack with the width that we're meant to be provided with that formation. We've got the weakest team in the world. Honestly, some of these lads they'll get knocked off the ball by a butterfly fart. Can you still hear me? Yeah, sorry, I got some bad feedback. I'm dumbfounded as to what we're meant to be doing. And if we're actually trying to play a particular way, what is that way? So I'm lost on it. I'm completely lost on it. But there's some really poor individual performances in there. Brandon Williams, he's young. He's going to have bad performances. Pereira, Mata and Lingard, the 3 I was worried about, have done nothing. Mata should just come off. I don't know why we gave him a 3-year contract. Martial's the only positive. His conversion rate must be absolutely ridiculous, man. He when he gets a chance, you're confident he's going to put it away. And he spotted that all by himself. He made it by himself, finished it by himself. And the comment we just had before in terms of we are scoring from mistakes or individual brilliance, that's the best comment of the night for me, because that seems to be how we win games. I just hope Ollie changes it, because I don't know about you, but I think it needs a change.
Well, I think that is something I've definitely heard before, whether it's from your mouth, my mouth, or people in the live comments over the past few months. But we had a game against Burnley away, and both the goals, Rashford scored really late when Burnley were chasing the game. It was literally stoppage time, and the goal we scored, I think Pereira assisted. I can't remember who he assisted. Maybe it was Rashford as well, or maybe he scored it. I can't remember, but it came from a Burnley mistake. And so many people are saying this now, that how many chances do United create or score that are created from their own play? Everything seems to come from a bit of individual brilliance or a mistake by the opposition. And look, to be fair, the goal that Brugge scored was mistakes. It was mistakes by United, but then he should have scored anyway because he put Delo on his arse, and they had another chance as well. So they've had chances in our penalty box. We've scored one because of Martial's brilliant bit of perception. But we're not playing good football. We're not playing good football in the final third. We're defensively stacked, and it just feels like, as you said before the start of the game, Ollie's in survival mode. He really is in survival mode. That first 20 minutes of the game, whether we're 1-0 down or not, the better attacking team, the better footballing team is Club Brugge. It's only in the last 5 minutes where I think that maybe Bruges were a bit deflated by the mistake. They needed half-time more than we did, to be fair. But for the first 35 minutes, forget the score, the better footballing team is Club Brugge.
That happens a lot against us. You notice that the better footballing side is the opposition, and maybe we're a little bit more clinical, but we have the right to be more clinical because we've got very, very good attacking players, some of them. When we've got Martial and Rashford, then there's always the ability to get a goal because they're fantastic players. But normally, the build-up from the midfield and the defence isn't why we score the goals in the first place. So, yeah, it needs to be changed at half-time for me. I mean, we're going to win this. I really do think we're going to win this, but I can't really give credit to Ollie if we do, unless he changes it, because we haven't got any patterns of play. You can't pick out a good side which is better for attacking. I mean, as you can see, Mark, I'm a bit lost for words. I'll try to be positive. I said my brain was reset by this break, and then I get reminded by Ollie how bad we are at football, and it just brings me crashing down, and I keep doing the same thing every week, and it's starting to get to me.
Lindelof, Williams and Matt are out. Phil, Bruno and Fred in, and we will win 4-1, says Jenks 1102. And Mark 10 says, anyone who says Martial goal was lucky needs to stop watching football. A lot of strikers that run from half lane line with the ball under pressure would overthink it and screw up the shot. They just showed us the goal back, and to be honest with you, they've just shown us the thing that happened in the first few minutes with Romero's foul as well. But Bruges had a few chances. But going back to the goal, a lot of people said that Romero shouldn't have run out. And I don't think he should have run out. But Dennis was still one-on-one. Williams was not going to catch him because defensively, United's shape is awful there. Lindelof and Maguire are too slow running back to the halfway line. Delot and Williams are too slow to realise that a ball over the top is going to kill them and nobody drops 10 yards. So, yeah, you could basically say the whole back five, apart from Luke Shaw, who I don't know where he is, are at fault for that goal that we concede because the centre-backs are too lazy to get back, the full-backs are too slow to realise there's any danger, and Romero is off doing his shopping instead of staying on his line. So it's just a catastrophic goal to concede. Jordan Such says Liverpool spent 75 million on Van Dijk. Notice Klopp doesn't play with three centre-backs. We spent 80 million on Maguire. We play three centre-backs home and away regardless of the opposition. It's truly pathetic. I think for me, the thing that bothers... and that is, he's right, Paul, isn't he? But the thing that bothers me is sort of what we were saying there. Everybody we seem to play plays better good football than us, unless we're playing someone like Norwich, who are shit. We just seem to concede there just seems to be this acceptance that we will let other teams look like they're better than us. I'm not saying we'll lose, but even against Chelsea on Monday night, Chelsea were the better football team. Tonight, Club Brugge are the better football team. We may well win, but every game it just seems, whether we win or lose, we don't play the better football, and I don't. That always will concern me because that you don't necessarily have to win games. You can lose games and still play good football. We just don't seem to want to play good football.
Well, I don't think we got a balance. I think if you look at it, if you want to be super negative, the reason we're keeping clean sheets is because we're putting so many players behind the ball. And because of that, our attacking play is floundering and we can't score goals. Because, am I right in saying before we scored 2 against Chelsea, we didn't score for 3 games? So we had clean sheets, but we didn't have any goals because we're putting all of our players behind the ball, so we can't counter-attack properly. And we haven't got enough support in the box. So we have to find that balance, whereas we can have enough players behind the ball to defend and enough players to be able to release to score goals. Now, Jordan Such's comment saying we've spent £80 million on Maguire and we're still just bunging loads of players behind the ball. The reason we spent £80 million on Maguire is so our defence could be shored up and we could have a balance. Why are we still lumping back fives in there so we don't concede a goal. I understand his point completely. It's difficult to figure out what we're doing well at the moment, but individual performances are definitely saving us, and Martial once again is coming up with them.
Well, the thing about the Martial goal is it happened so quick. I was like, well, who's got the assist? And actually, when you watch it back, there is no assist. He's got it got it himself. The way after he scored the goal and Pereira celebrates with him, and he's talking to Pereira about moves and everything like that. I thought, oh, maybe Pereira's got an assist. Then you watch it back, there's no assist. He's won it himself. But even after the goal, he's there moaning at Pereira about lines and stuff because he knows he doesn't get any service. And to be honest with you, I think there would be people at half time who would be saying, oh, Martial's been crap again, if he hadn't gone and done the things that he's done on his own, because he's totally on his own. And I said it as well. I don't know what your thoughts on Matic were, Paul, but I think he's another player that I feel a bit sorry for in this game, because he's surrounded by players that just aren't up to the task. And it's very fashionable to go in on Jesse Lingard, and maybe Jesse Lingard deserves that. But, everybody likes Juan Mata. But for me, Juan Mata in that half was worse than Lingard, if that's possible, and didn't play particularly well.
No one did though, Mark. I was just thinking whilst you were talking there, I was going to come out with the good performances in that half. And Martial, even really, with Martial, but without the goal, you wouldn't be able to say he had a good performance. There's a reason that, because he didn't get any service and he was isolated because of the formation that we're playing. But we didn't have any good individual performances. Now, is that because the players aren't good, or because they're playing in the system that just isn't working? Because I don't believe all of our players are bad. Matt is a good player if he played correctly, but we haven't seen him. Martial's a fantastic player if he gets service. He hasn't got any. Our defence, we haven't got bad defenders, but they just don't seem to know what to do in the back five. Our wing-backs should be pushing right up the pitch. They're not. We're just sitting there with the back five with two central defensive midfielders in front of them. And then we haven't got any pace to counter-attack because we've got Mata, Pereira and Lingard. So what's the plan, Mark? I keep coming back to it, but honestly, all roads lead to Rome for me at the moment. What's the plan?
I think second half we'll see the same again. I think Ollie will be in there at half time, probably very happy on a personal note, thinking if this finishes like this, I've got the away goal. Losing 2-1's not as bad as losing 1-0 because I've got the away goal. So he'll be very happy with that. I think we'll see exactly the same. He'll be like, concentrate at the back, we can't concede again, and we'll see the same thing. But just on what you were saying about Mata there, you're spot on. I mean, you look at that formation to my left there, that's not a formation for Juan Mata. Juan Mata doesn't want to be hardly getting the ball, and then when he does get the ball, be on the halfway line. Mata's a player, especially at his age, he wants the ball on the edge of the box. He wants to be knocking the little 5-yard passes. He wants to play in a team that's like Man City, really, where they're dominating possession, where a team's parking the bus against them. This isn't even the right game for Juan Mata. He hasn't got the legs. He's not a tackler. We're hardly on the ball. It's just totally unsuitable. And exactly what we said before the game. The gap between the defence and the attack is too big. The gap's too big. So I think unless Bruges tire in the second half, I can see us winning it, but I don't think we're going to see any sustained possession.
No, neither do I. I think it needs a change at half time to spruce things up a little bit. Changing personnel and a change in formation. I think we should bring Bruno on and take one of the 3 number 10s off that we got on there. Change back to our original formation and then see what happens, because, we could start dominating Bruges. They're scared now. They're 1-0 down and they didn't want to be. We can take advantage of that. They're going to have to push forward and get... it's 1-1, but they still don't quite know how to play. If we make a change in the second half and start to dominate the ball a little bit, I think we could start to stuff them. But at the moment, they're confident that they can get a goal past us, and that's making us nervous as well. Let's see what happens in the second half. We need some better individual performances. But if Ollie doesn't change it, I'll be a little bit disappointed.
Okay, Paul, I'll get you on for the last 10 then, mate. Cheers for that.
All right, mate. Cheers.
Just looking at the players while Paul was talking there is no subs at half time. Damian Roy says, players in the middle not receiving and turning with the ball. The one time Lingard picked it up and did it, we nearly had a chance, which is true. I think it's that shot from Pereira. Dipan Bizwaz says, could be 2-1 up. Williams blasted the ball in the stands instead of passing it to unmarked Martial. David Gatta says, I think everyone will be less frustrated once they accept Ollie doesn't have a philosophy. He'll be gone in the summer. No chance he'll last. And Melonhead 1848, if Martial played for Man City, he would score 20 a season. I think the future is bright for United. Just hang in there, everybody. So we're about to kick off for the second half here. I think United are going to win this. I said it at the start of the game, so I may as well say it now. It was 0-0 at the start. It's 1-1 now. I just think United have got a goal out of nothing. We're surely going to create some chances. If we take those chances, we'll win. And surely, defensively, we can't be as bad as we were in the first half. They've surely had a bit of a bollocking. Sergey Mamedov says, Ollie is such a liar, saying that he is a club man, that he will bring back Man United DNA to our game. And then this PE coach is playing with 5 defenders, relying on counter-attacks. He's a club killer, not a club man. And another Bruges player has gone down injured here. I think he's going to have to go off. I think he was injured just before the first half. And I don't know what's happened to him now, but I think he's going to have to go off. Yeah. Safe Ramen says bring Igalo on and replace him with Mata. Ollie did say before the game that Igalo's probably only going to play the last few minutes. So Balanta's gone off for them. I think he might have concussion or something, because he got a bang in the head just before the half, and obviously he's come back on. He's not feeling great, so he's gone off. I didn't see a challenge on him. So let's see how the second half goes. Can United get a bit of momentum into this game to show their quality? I'm sure there's some stat about Pereira's on more money than everybody in Bruges, but we've got to want it more. You've got to want it more, and you've got to be able to play some good football. You can't score goals if you don't play good football. And United should be imposing themselves on this game. I'm a little bit disappointed that Ollie's come out with 3 at the back again, second half. I mean, I've seen a lot of space against this Bruges side. I don't think they are as good as AZ Alkmaar. I don't. I think AZ Alkmaar were better than these, and they're not as good a footballing side as AZ Alkmaar. We've given them a goal through piss poor defending. I think if we went on the front foot, we'd win this game. I think we're playing too conservative. But what do I know? What do I know? Rather grind out a 1-1 or a 2-1 result than put Bruno and Fred in and have them be tired for the Premier League, says Will Hickman. Well, it's interesting. We play Watford at 2 o'clock on Sunday, so that's not much of a turnaround, is it? When you're playing Thursday night, 2.5 days. And Watford have had 2 weeks off because they had their winter break weekend last weekend. Pereira responded better to 10 seconds of Martial coaching than an entire season of Ollie and co, says Sean Finnerty. So here United are doing their old little passing it around the back at the moment. But Matt has managed to win it and give it to Pereira. That ball needed to go to Lingard quicker. That's crap from Pereira. But we have found it out to Delo now. Whip across in. Oh, I tell you what, Lingard nearly scored then. I nearly had my tenner. Good little bit of play there. Mata feeds in Delo. Acres of space. Absolutely acres of space. Cross comes in. Lingard makes the right run. Puts his foot on it. Just wide. A little bit better from United, that. I just wonder whether Bruges are running out of steam a little bit here. Their passing seems to have gone away. Their momentum seems to have gone away. And there seems to be quite a lot of space. And that's a terrible ball again. They're making lots of mistakes now. Mata into Martial. This should be 2. No. Oh, I thought that was a tap-in for Mata, but it somehow found its way into Mingale's hands. But Bruges are all over the place at the moment. They're playing terrible. We've got to push them. Maguire comes across. Should have scored to Sally Devil Revan. I'd like to see that back. I don't know why Martial doesn't sort that out, really. Either shoot or get the pass right. Mark, I just want to say thank you for making me smile, says the camping pigeon. Thanks, mate. Let's hope United can make us smile second half. Remember, we have got the second leg, but we don't want to be be nice to have this game sewn up, really. Because we've got Everton next weekend as well. So, and again, Everton are not in Europe, so they've got a week off. We've got 2 really tough games coming up in the Premier League, which we can win both of them. And if we win both of them, I think we probably will be 4th after the Everton game. But both Watford and Everton, they've got time. What a save by Romero. They've carved us open again. It's Dennis the Menace again. Simple. It's so simple how they get. I don't even know how they're getting in here. There's a back 5. 5 defenders and 1 pass takes them out, and he's through running one-on-one. We're so bad. We're so bad defensively. Here's this chance here though. Mata gets it. It should be just a simple 1-2 with Martial. Martial. The pass needs to be better from Martial there. Corner comes in. Still Brugge. Our defence is vulnerable on that right-hand side, says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Well, do something about it then. Do something about it. Storm Dennis, says Aaron Boss Rashford. He has been the problem at United. Mark, Everton will be tough. I don't see us winning, says Sagor Kapoor. I haven't really seen Everton from the under Ancelotti that much. So I don't really... I suppose I see Everton a bit like the... Oh, come on, Jesse, you've got to do better there. I suppose I see Everton a little bit like what they were like under Marco Silva and Duncan Ferguson, as a bit of a passion merchant side. But come on, Jesse, you've got to do better there, mate. It's barged you on the floor. We need to go to a back 4, says Marky. I think we need to go to a back 4. Well, I thought we were in control a little bit, but Bruges with the best chance of the half so far, just going up the other end and creating something. So, the thing is, I don't think they're that good, which just shows you how bad we've been defensively. Every time they attack, they just seem to be able to create something. Pereira's got to win that as well. That's weak. But I tell you what, this is the trouble with Pereira and Mata and Lingard. None of them can bloody tackle. So it's basically all on Matic. That's a foul on Brandon Williams there. Gabriel Fraser-Clark says, how have United been? I'll let the live comments tell you about that. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to have a little stretch. There's a yellow card here to a Bruges player. I don't know what for. Must have been dissent. Get Bruno on, says Michael Jones. Yeah, you've got to remember that. I think if we had Fred and Bruno playing today, we wouldn't be anywhere near as bad as this. But now there's a chance to break. Oh, Mata. Again, it's just a bad pass. There's a chance to break there, and Juan Mata, you'd expect him to pass it out. He just passes it straight to a Bruges player. There's no conviction or confidence in the way that we play. That's gone for a goal kick. Yakov wants to see Bruno Anagalo. And the Scrub Squad 1v15 says we need a sub, Ollie. I think we should have gone 4 at the back from minute 1. So I would like to see him take a centre-back off. And again, Matic there, his passing's off. There's no confidence to pass the ball from the United side. Now Pereira. He's hitting a long ball for Lingard. It's not going to work, but Martial will pick up the second ball. And not win that one. Beans, 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 says John Terrors. What would I do? What would you do? I would take Lindelof. Oh, no, I'd take Brandon Williams off. I'd put Luke Shaw at left back. I'd have Lindelof and Maguire as my centre backs. So you go to a back four, and I'd keep Matic and Pereira because I don't well, no. I want Bruno on the pitch. I'd probably put Dan James on as well. I'd take Mata off, put Bruno on, keep Pereira as a holder, put Lingard to the right, Martial down the middle, and Dan James on the left. So it becomes like a 4-2-3-1. But I think this 3 centre-back thing is it's boring. It's boring to watch. Even in this second half, we've not done anything again. Ollie is an absolute moron. Our problem is creating against lesser teams, and then he picks the failures Lingard, Mata and Pereira in the same team. Mark, how many points do you think we will get from Watford and Everton? Says Mujahid Hussain. I'll tell you what, this is going to sound really stupid, but I think we'll get 6. I do. I think we'll beat Watford on Sunday. I think a lot of people are worried about that game, but I think we will beat Watford on Sunday. So that's 3. And Everton, I just think, well, it's now or never, isn't it? It's now or never. It's with Ollie like the tale of the Emperor's new clothes. Some fans think he's great and some fans see him naked, says DJ John T. Can Jesse have a good game once in a while? Pereira's on the attack. Lays it off. Martial edge of the box. He should have hit that. Brandon Williams. Luke Shaw. Pereira. Wide. Can Jesse have a good game once in a while so we can get at least a couple of bottles of beer for him in the summer? Says Alligator. Yeah, if you want Lingard to be sold, we do need him to start playing well. But then if he starts playing well, we'll probably keep him. I would like to see Dan James on because I think Dan James needs a goal. He needs a bit of confidence, and I think in a game like this, maybe he's got more chance of getting chances than he will against Watford. Defensively, we look like we've... well, famous last words. Pereira, worst United player in the last 30 years, says Dan Austin. I don't know. There's been some worse, mate. Did you get a new computer, says Andreas Dorfick. Nope. Why would you think that? Romero long ball straight out of play. And we've hit a lot of those today from the back that I've not been happy with. Why are we hitting long balls from Romero when we've got absolutely nobody up front to hold it up? Copenhagen have equalised against Celtic. It's 1-1 in that game if you've got any interesting. Do a Saeed impression, says Moet Alan. All I can do about Saeed is, do you get me, bro? You know what I'm saying, bro? Pereira, bro. You're just not good enough, bro. Where's my bro? Bro. Ollie, bro. I think our bench is better than the starting 11, says Kersey. Yeah, but you're going to get that. We have rested some players tonight, so the bench is going to be looking stronger. Imagine if we had a proper... I don't know what that one said. It just whizzed by. Mark, we have better players than Bruges, but they still play and create better than us, says Riff MU. Saeed is actually out in Bruges, and so is Ricky. So you've got a good couple of fan cams coming up later on tonight. I like watching them both, but Ricky just makes me laugh. I can't wait to see what Ricky's going to say about Mata, because unless Mata scores, his player rating ain't going to be as high as his player shirt. Good bit of running here from Martial and Luke Shaw. And we'll get a corner. What formation are we playing, says Joshua Healy? 3-5-3-2 when we've not got the ball. 3-4-2-1, whatever, when we have. We hardly rested players when we won the treble, says Dan Austin. Different times, different times. Love Ollie, but can we loan him out for experience, says Jay Kellogg's. I tell you what, no one's ever suggested that yet. Who's better, the Nigerian striker Dennis or Igalo, says Nasser Haroun. I don't know, because we ain't seen enough of Igalo yet, have we? Maybe we'll see him in a few minutes. I do think Ollie needs to be making some substitutes now. 60 minutes gone, half an hour to go. It's got to be Bruno time, hasn't it? Sam Callow says, I think Martial's been decent. He's just lacking service. If Martial hadn't scored that goal, where's the chances for United? We'd be 1-0 down. Like, that goal came from a mistake from Bruges. Like, we've created nothing again. I thought that was a ref. I thought that was a foul ref on Lingard. But they're still coming forward here, Bruges. Watch it, Delo. Don't get skinned in the box. Matt has done well there. Rolling back the years. What are you going to do with it? Ooh, unlucky Martial. It's a throw in to Bruges. Vandy Candy says we need to get a faster, younger version of Lingard to spin in. Yeah, but Lingard's only 18. If I had a tenner every time Pereira had a good shot from out the box this season, I'd be broke. Also, Ollie needs to stay. Cheers, Marky Mark, says Wrecking Wenchers. Substitution. Towels come off for De Catalari. I don't know how he's pronounced it. Playing 3-5-2. Shaw has a spot in the team, says the initial topic. Yeah, but I love Luke Shaw. I'd rather he was on the bench than play 3-5-2. I can't stand it. Oh, Mingale there. Nearly making a mistake. This second half's crap. I'm going to put my hands up and say this second half's crap. It's absolutely shocking. And we are contributing to it, of course, but Club Brugge ain't much better. I thought the first half was quite good, but second half, crap. I'm going to have a Vic sniff to wake me up. I used to use these when I was on nights. I didn't even have a cold. When I used to work nights in the police, I used to have one of these in my pocket, which is like a nasal stick, because it just gives you a bit of a rush. So when you get tired, it's a good thing to use. So I now use it for United games to keep me awake. It is. It's rubbish. It's like watching two crap teams play each other. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We will have fan cams coming up after the game, match reaction as well, and player ratings. Oh God. They've just tackled their own player here, Bruges. It's awful, this game. They've brought some tall player on. United, this game is so bad. Surely your quality is going to come through here. This is what happens when Bruno and Fred don't play without them. We are crap, says Alfred III. Irfan Shah says it's like a competition of worst performances. I've just tweeted out there. It's like watching Stoke City under Tony Pulis play Stoke City reserves. It's crap. It's really bad. But United should win because we've got players who are on 100 grand a week or more. Like, our team's full of internationals. Like, we should win this game. Quality's got to come through. Give him time, give him time. Lingard will age like a good bottle of wine, says Ramsey United. I think Bruges look knackered, and they've looked knackered after about 40 minutes. And the game's sort of being played at a snail's pace. It's so slow. I thought someone was injured then. I thought they were waiting for the ref's whistle. Mark, what happened to your top 10? Says Wolfie, 35p. I was going to do it yesterday, but I thought I'll actually wait and do it over the weekend because we've had 2 games that we can do it for. So I just need to find a slot for it. It will happen. Thing about these sort of results, though, as long as you don't lose, it will get forgotten very, very quickly if we beat Watford on Sunday. Remember we drew with... didn't we draw with Astana or Partizan Belgrade or something like that? And we were dreadful. We were dreadful. I think it was Belgrade away. We played the 5 at the back and we either won it late on or we drew. And we were absolutely crap. Mark, Lingard is turning 28 this year. Maybe he's past his prime like Mata, says Nasser Hareen. Yeah, but you had to really grab Lingard's prime because it lasted for 3 months. Remember that messy Lingard period? 3 months. That was basically his career. That's crap. Look at Pereira there. Awful. Right, we've got a sub. Garlo's coming on. I think Martial's coming off. It's a Garlo time. Does that make us stronger or weaker? At least we're going to get to see him for 25 minutes anyway. I feel sorry for you, mate, because if you're like anything like Martial, you will get no service. You're going to have to do it all on your own. Get ready to run around. Ball over the top. Maguire wins it. Second ball. Luke Shaw. That's their throw. Who's worse, Pereira or Jason Lee, says Dan Austin. Hey, you know what? Jason Lee used to score a few goals in the Premier League. I don't know how he did it. He was trash, but... And as bad as this second half has been, if I said to you in the live comments, who's been the better footballing side? Mark, are you ready for the masterclass tonight, says Zayn Miasi. I ain't watching Arsenal. I think Lingard has Benjamin Button's disease, says Thomas Mendenhall. Pereira should get booked here. Well, he'll miss the next game, I think, Pereira now. Or maybe not. Somebody seemed to say that he misses the next game if he got booked. Well, I don't know about that. Lingard and Pereira can't break the lines with their passing. They can only recycle or lay off to fullbacks. That's it. Frustrating, says Don Island. Look, you can pick on Lingard, you can pick on Pereira, but the point remains that this still comes down to the way that the team's been structured. If you think it's right that Lingard and Pereira can't break the lines, then why are we playing Lingard and Pereira and Mata with only Martial? It's hanging Martial out to dry, isn't it? And let's see how much of the ball Agallo gets in the next 20 minutes playing with those 3 players. Kian Does Football says this is absolutely rubbish from United. Do something for God's sake. And that's another shot from the edge of the box from Bruges, just wide. The coaching is awful. Well, I think so far, and it's going to need a massive change in circumstances, United seem to me to have been playing for a draw from minute 1, and this is one of the worst performances we've had. It is. The only reason we're level is because of a mistake by Club Brugge, isn't it? But we've got a bit of a break on here. If we don't create a chance out of this... Oh, for God's sake. There was so many easy passes to play there and we lose the ball. Like, that was a chance waiting to be created on the break there. Mark, in your post-match ratings, are there any scores of -5? May as well give that to the entire team. There's time yet, Mojo. There's time yet. In the States, we actually have to pay $2.99 to watch this crap live. Absolutely unreal. Would rather give it to the channel. Cheers, says Will Hickman. Well, we're all paying to watch this, aren't we? Pereira's coming off now. I would imagine it's probably for Fred. Yeah. You've seen the shirt numbers. Is this the second team, says Smith Jones. So Fred's on now. We should see we should grab hold of the game a little bit now with Fred on the team. Now, come on, move the ball quicker. Foul on Mata. Do I reckon Bruno will come on, Jay? I would bring him on. Why not try and win the game? I don't care. I doubt I can bear another year of the Europa, says Govan98. Fred. See, instantly Fred's made a big difference here. Instantly. Instant impact from Fred. Wolves versus Espanyol. And I think Arsenal are away to Olympiacos, aren't they? Another ball over the top. Foul on Maguire. Garlo wins a corner. Just trying to see if they've got player ratings up anywhere so far. I mean, not that I would copy. Substitution here for Club Brugge. I think we'll win this game, you know. I just think it'd just be typical for us to win a game like this, even though we played absolutely dreadful. But Manchester United owners and Woodward don't take any notice of how we play. We remember this under Mourinho, where we played badly but we still drew or nick a game. That's all they're interested in, the bottom line. They don't care about how we play. They don't have good enough football knowledge to even look at that. Dalot has looked terrible today, Mark, says Bryce Jones. Yeah, he hasn't looked good, has he? Would you risk Bruno for the win or save him for the weekend? Also, should Ollie prioritise one of the League or the Europa League for the Champions League? It's too early, Salah Ahmed, for that. I to be honest with you, it is too early. I think what we've got to do is get through Bruges next Thursday at Old Trafford, and we've got to beat Watford and Everton, and then maybe you make a decision. But I think at the moment he wants to try and do both. But he has shown today that he has tried to rest some players that he didn't need to rest, some would say. But United have just sat in this second half. It's been we've sat so deep against Club Brugge. I find it embarrassing, to be honest with you. There's not really been much intent to go and win a game. And I think we will beat them at Old Trafford. I mean, do you think they'll beat us at Old Trafford? I don't. Phil Max says, look at United. We have individually great footballers. I think, where is the team? Well, being forced to play a formation that is just negative. We've just played this whole game so negative. you know, we've basically treated Club Brugge like Liverpool. Because this is the formation we played at Anfield. Oh God, they're not much. They're definitely a Poundland Liverpool, Club Brugge though. They're hard to watch. Why does Maguire play every game and not get a rest? Says Salah Ahmed. I don't know. I bet Phil Jones asks the same thing. And Red Baron, genuine question: do you think we would be playing any differently if Sam Allardyce was in charge? I feel our coaching staff is being carried by our players. I could be wrong. I agree with Josh. He says we're just playing not to lose. Because at the end of the day, where's the ambition to... If he switches that ball there, good job he didn't. If where's the ambition to win from United? Goal kick. Shazdad says Lingard's been the worst player on the pitch. It's sad, but I think at this point, the conversation probably is who's been the worst United player on the pitch. I don't know. I mean, I think Lingard, I sort of accept what he is now. I don't expect anything, so I don't even feel that he's had a bad game by his standards. I think he's just had a Jesse Lingard performance. I don't think Mata's played well. I don't think Pereira played well. I don't think Delo's played well. I don't think Brandon Williams played well. I think he's had a better second half. There's breaks on here, though, for United on the break. You've got a 3v4 here. If we're quick with the ball, we've got a 3v4. Well done, Brandon. Oh, just too high for Igalo. United could win this game if they wanted to win it. And I think that's what's annoyed me from Ollie, is that there's so much space on the break that we could do it. If he knocks that into the right, we're in trouble. Oh, he's done Maguire there. Watch out. Watch out. What a miss. What a miss. They should have won it at the end there. Oh, it's a tap-in. And where's the defence there? Mourinho played to not lose against Sevilla, and Ollie is doing the same thing. Says the bit W, but not Kosuna here. They well worked. Well worked, this is, from Bruges. I think it's Dennis again. Dennis the Menace. Stands up Maguire, puts a cross in, takes out 4-5 United players. And Delo's not marking his man, and he puts it wide. That's what I'm talking about. That chance. I need to talk about that in the match reaction. That chance there ends up with what should have been a tap-in, and yet we've got a back five. If we do get Champions League next year, what's the point? Says Kapil Palagol. And that's the sort of thing that the Manchester United board need to be thinking about here. If we do get top four, is this going to change next season under this regime, playing this brand of football? Or is it just going to be luck that we get top four? Because the football's atrocious. A draw here is like winning Formula 1 with a ladder, says Jenks1102. And we're Manchester United, we should not be looking to sacrifice one league for another. We should be chasing third place in the Premier League and looking to win the Europa, says Rare Videos. Well, I think United are very lucky not to be losing this game. I mean, the goal from Martial was very, very good, but it was individual brilliance. Where have the chances been apart from that? I think Brandon Williams had a good chance at the end of the first half, but he made a right mess of it. The better team, again, has been the opposition. And we've had plenty of warning. They've been way better than us. Right, we've got a break on here. Mata. 3 against 4. Igalo, chance to stretch his legs, good tackle, unlucky. I think Igalo, to me, looks like he's carrying a bit of weight. He looks too heavy. Oh, he doesn't look too bad on the close-up, but there he just looks a bit heavy for me, which is obviously fitness. Is it me, or does Brandon Williams look better as a fullback than a wing-back? Playing 3-5-2 is just to get Shaw into the team, devoid of width and creativity, says Salah Ahmed. What a comment. Well done, Salah, because that's very similar to the situation that we've got with Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka looks way better in a back four as well, and it's probably because he's used to playing in a back four. So Delow's come off and Bruno Fernandes has come on. So we've gone to a back four now with 10 minutes to go. So I don't know who will go right back. I presume Lindelof will go to right back. Dennis is looking like he might be injured as well. So, no, Brandon Williams has gone to right back, Luke Shaw's gone to left back, and we're going to keep Lindelof and Maguire. So, Paul, can you hear me?
Hello, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we've gone to a back four with 10 minutes to go now. Good old Ollie.
Yeah, great. I'm glad he made the change. It's just possibly about 60 minutes too late, but better late than never. We'll see.
Well, the second half's been absolutely dreadful, I've got to say.
I've just been chatting to Dan on Discord just about the ins and outs of the positives of the game, and I can't find any at the moment, apart from Martial's finish, obviously.
I think the positive will be if we don't get beat. If we win it, I don't know how we've managed to win it, but if we don't get beat, I think he's got to take it as a positive because, again, as we said at half time, we've not been the better team by a long way.
No, if you were a neutral watching this match, you wouldn't think it's European football, would you? The second best European league and competition in the world. But if we can get a win out of it, Mata's in. Oh no, was that onside? That should have been a goal. It was offside.
I'll tell you what, it was a wonderful pass by Bruno Fernandes.
It was,
and that's what I mean. If you get quality in the final third. What a ball!
Hang on, I didn't even know Bruno Fernandes was on. Sorry, I was concentrating on something else.
Yeah,
see what happens as soon as we. Yeah, with a bit of class, Delo. I'm struggling to see the potential in Delo now. He's got plenty of time to show it, but he needs to show a little bit more, definitely. But yeah, Bruno straight away. Look at what he does.
Yeah, that pass from Bruno. And the thing is, if he'd been on all game, we probably would have won this game because there has been that space to play that pass all game, but we just not had the player to do it because Lingard and Pereira can't do it. So,
outside of our starting 11, we struggle, don't we? We just immediately insert weakest links, which kind of break down the whole fluidity of the play. You got Bruno and Fred on now, and I'm hoping we're going to look a little bit better with a 4-4-2.
Well, Igalo's been on for about 20 minutes and he's not had anything to do. But I think we might nick it now with the 4-4-2. And then everyone will say everyone says then, it's an Ollie masterclass, but it isn't. He should have done this miles ago. That far.
Well, look at us now. Now we're actually dominating the final third. We're getting players. Oh, Fernandes wants to shoot from anywhere, doesn't he?
Well, we're better. The thing is, the whole team knows it's attacking now, and this is the whole point. We should have attacked against this side. We've basically been sat
suddenly
back.
People know where they're meant to be. I think, honestly, with a 3-5-2, I think players look a little bit lost in terms of their jobs on the pitch. It seems a little bit of a free-for-all. Already now, it seems like people know where they're meant to be and what they're meant to be doing. So you got Mata coming in with his number 10. 1-2. Oh...
No, he's not got it. Referees said dive.
He should have gone down. He should have dived a little bit more, if you ask me. But yeah, see, we just we look better. We look better. We really do. We look more composed. I don't understand Ollie sometimes. I really don't.
Well, here's Lingard into Bruno, into Mata, into Bruno. Oh, and the game has changed on its head here. And now we have got a free kick, and this could be Bruno territory now. Hold on to your cocks. This could be it. This could be it.
This could be it, definitely. This is Bruno territory. It's just like 25 yards out. It's just ready for him to take. He did a fantastic free kick against Chelsea, hit the post. This is going to be a great opportunity for him.
Well, we saw him do one of these against... it was actually on when we were in Marbella last week. I saw a clip of this. So this would be a perfect sort of spot for him to do it from. But the game's changed, you know. I hope if we do go on and win this, Ollie starts to learn that the 3-5-2 just does not work. 4-4-2, we can't defend with 5 defenders. We can't. We're rubbish at it. So don't play 5 defenders. Play 4 and try and attach. And a few people saying Bruno's man of the match already, and I don't think that's well, we've got Mata and Bruno on here. I tell you what, if this isn't on target, I'm going to be disappointed. It's the wall.
Well, it was on target, but hits the wall. Oh, lobs in. Agalo does look a bit lumpy, doesn't he?
I think he needs to. I think he needs to get a bit fit. I think in China you can probably carry a bit of weight, but
not here. Well, you can ask Luke Shaw that, but
well, yeah.
I know you don't agree with me on that one, Mark. We just look more composed straight away. Obviously, Fred in the midfield and Bruno in the midfield, they're settling things down a little bit. But the formation change has confused Bruges, but it's also enabled our players to be a little bit more functional. So,
well, from Bruges' point of view, they're probably quite tired, of course, because they are playing a Premier League side. And they probably feel that they should have won the game, and then the last few minutes, the game just changes on its head, and suddenly they're like, "Oh bloody hell, it's a tactical change, and we're not set up to react to it." And
I know, but do you know what this does, Mark? With this sort of performance and this sort of result, just where do we go with the next match? It just creates more confusion in terms of how we're going to play down the line, because we haven't cemented the 3-5-2 today, have we? We haven't made it. You know, this 3-5-2 is going to work for the rest of the season. It's just
I don't think it works
full
stop. I just don't. I don't know what people in the live comments think. I've been on about it for ages. I don't think it's ever worked. I mean, we got 3 points against Chelsea.
It worked under Conte.
Yeah.
It never worked for us, but Conte did it. He won the league with Chelsea, didn't he, when he made the change? But he had the players to do it. Obviously, we haven't. But it was our second team today. You know, our first 11 looks like a class act on paper. If we make 3 changes from that with our squad, that's our problem, because suddenly we're so weakened that everything else falls apart. So it's,
but this this last 5 minutes has been entertaining because we're attacking. We've had to put up with 80 minutes of boredom when he could have just. But we also took
Lingard and Pereira off, and they're useless. They didn't. What did they do the entire game? I can't think of one thing, literally, apart from bad things. So as soon as you put those in the team and they're pretty much, you know, useless, then it affects the entire team. Now look at us. Now we're pinging balls into the box. We're pushed up. So this is a positive for the way we should play against Watford, in my opinion. But let's see if we can get this second goal.
Yeah, we'll get the second goal and it's game over, isn't it? But I think we might have left. I think in a way, if we end up drawing this game, and he will still see it as a good result. But if we do end up drawing this game, it's a missed opportunity, because you get the 2 away goals, you win 2-1, and it's basically done at Old Trafford. You haven't got to worry too much. But you know, he's left the door open, hasn't he? Because I think we'll beat them at Old Trafford. I really do. But if they score goals at Old Trafford, we're
away goals do count in Europa League.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can imagine at Old Trafford we're going to get the result for sure, but it just leaves that little lingering doubt, doesn't it? If they get the first goal, then we're basically 2 goals down, and then we're not very good if we lose the first goal. We know that throughout the season. So yeah, it does. If we don't get the result, I'll be very surprised, but it does leave that little doubt in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
But Fred seems to control the entire team, if you ask me. Everyone knows what Fred's going to do. When Fred gets the ball, he turns. Everyone else moves forward and moves up the pitch because they know what he's going to do. Whereas the other two, they were just so sideways that everything was static.
Well, my player ratings is going to be interested in the match reaction.
I was going to say, who's your man of the match, Mark?
Bruno or Fred.
Bruno.
I'm struggling
He
to
can't even go for the
pick between the two.
goalkeeper. Because he hasn't really done much apart from nearly got sent off.
Well, yeah, we normally
he's made a
would.
couple of decent saves.
We normally
Yeah,
would
he's always
say
the backup, isn't he, the goalkeeper?
But,
so I don't know. I couldn't choose. Luke Shaw's been pretty good.
Yeah, you know what?
Luke
Shaw has
comparatively.
Been, yeah, he did. There was one chance in the second half though where they cut through us and it was his man. So
yeah,
I mean,
go on, Bruno. He wants to smash it, Bruno, doesn't he? Go on, hit it.
Oh,
that was on
thing
target.
about Bruno now though, this is worrying. He's trying to do everything on his own, isn't he? That's exactly what he did
said
at Sporting
after
Lisbon.
the game the other day. Yeah, he said after the Chelsea game we should have been better on the ball, but we had a good result. He's been watching this for 80 minutes. What do you think he's going to think about that?
Yeah. Four minutes added on.
Okay. Well, we've got a couple of Bruges players down at the moment. I think they clashed. But what's the positives today, Mark? What are we going to take away from this match? If it finishes 1-1, I suppose that's going to be all match reaction. But I'm thinking Martial looks sharp. Yeah, that's true.
Because the goal is from nothing.
What chances have we created today? Well, we haven't carved them open, have we? I mean, our goal was given by a throw-in from them.
Yeah.
Other than that, we need creativity. We really do. And I think Bruno's going to help with that. But if he starts to try and do everything by himself, do you remember like Pogba used to do when he was on the pitch because he was our almighty saviour? I don't want him to do that. I want him to make other players better around him than just basically dragging everybody else along with him.
Positives are that we didn't lose the game, I think, and I know that sounds really bad, but
great positive that
it has to be, doesn't it? Because ultimately they've been the better team. Ultimately, they probably deserve to win the game, and I think that I'm a little bit disappointed with the fact that so many people in the live comments have been saying, "Let's take a defender off." I mean, many of us said it before the game even started, and we've played with four at the back, and I think it's just a wasted opportunity from United. With four at the back, we've been a much better team, and we could have been like that from minute one. So, if anything, somebody made a comment about the players are keeping Ollie in a job because his tactics are absolutely dreadful, and I think that's spot on.
If Ollie said free kick from 22 yards out,
might be a better chance to get it up and over the wall here. Ryan F2W says, if Ollie says that 1-1 to a team from Belgium is a good result, it really shows his level of mediocrity. Incompetent beyond belief. Get back to Mulder. Well, I do think that the players can do better in a better system. So it does reflect the manager. Because the last 10 minutes...
You know what the shame is, though?
Go on.
We've got Mata and Lingard. They're fringe players. And these are their opportunities to put a great performance in to prove that they can play in the Premier League. You know, and Pereira as well. They just let themselves down because we needed more from them. Because we know they can do bits. But they just don't seem to be able to. And you can't blame it all on the tactics and the style and the system. They have to also, you know, take a little bit of blame that they can't get up to the standard they know they can do.
I think Mata's going to hit this. I don't think Bruno's hitting this. I think Mata's hitting it. And it's a shame because I think this is better for Bruno because it's got a little bit... People think the closer to the goal, the easier the free kick. Actually, sometimes it's good to be a good 5 metres back. Yeah, Mata's hitting it straight into the wall as well.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Which sums up Mata's night, really.
It is, but it looks like it's going to be 1-1. Yeah, it sums up the whole evening. That free kick sums up our entire performance. But if we're going to go away with 1-1, then it could be worse in terms of scoreline.
Yes, I think we've done well to get a point. And I know that sounds bad, but ultimately the Martial goal came from a mistake.
Yeah, let's take the positives. We haven't lost, and the way Sir Alex Ferguson used to say is you go away, you get a result that you can take back to Old Trafford and win the game. So that's what we've done. And Ollie very much lives by his standards. So let's hope that's going to be the case.
And that should be about it, I think. Well, thanks for coming on, Paul, for tonight. Really enjoyed the company.
Yeah, no dramas. Thanks, mate. Always a pleasure. I'll catch you in a bit.
All right, mate. Cheers. Thanks for that, Paul.
Cheers.
Actually, it's not actually over. Paul's gone there. They've actually won a corner late on here. So if Paul's there, you're more than welcome to pop back on. I thought he was going to blow up because we were well into the 5th minute. But Bruges have gone and got a corner. They've not looked very good in the air compared to us from corners. And they did just win the header and head it wide. I think the ref will be blowing up now. So we will be doing player ratings, which is probably going to be the most interesting part of the match reaction because they're not going to be very good, of course. So the link is in the video description for the match reaction. I'm going to be live there right now. In fact, 60 seconds time, I'll be live. Join me there. Link in the video description for the match reaction, the player ratings, and discussion about this game. Speak to you all in a moment. Link in the video description.